Want to get some coffee or something?
Can I get a cup of coffee? Black? Can't you see we talking? White?
Even little kids in Mexico drink coffee.
Well, I'm not a little kid in Mexico, okay?
That is the best coffee I've ever tasted.
A damn fine cup of coffee.
You want a cup of coffee?
No coffee.
Coffee drinker, huh?
Maybe we could grab some coffee?
Coffee! Coffee, 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 coffee!
God damn, Jimmy. That's some serious gourmet shit. Me and Vincent would have been satisfied with some freeze-dried Taster's Choice, right? And he springs this serious gourmet shit on us.
That is chock full of delicious coffee. So it is Tuesday. I got to be honest, I wasn't really sure what the fuck I wanted to talk about today. But I thought, you know what? I want to talk about one of my favorite shows, at least for a little bit. And that's what I did the thumbnail for, because I really did enjoy those TV shows back in the 70s. So much so that it is one of the things I sleep to at night. I either sleep to Perry Mason, Adam 12, Johnny Quest, or the Shazam ISIS Hour. And but they're broken up actually on my device, because I have a pad that I keep next to my bed. It's got my alarm system. I wear a headset and a mask to help keep it dark, and I just listen all night to TV shows that keep me from having my PTSD driven dreams. And it works. I haven't had a nightmare in a long time because of that. And I find the lighter hearted, the more fun a program is, the less likely I am to have one of those PTSD driven nightmares.
Hey, Gary, where are you watching Shazam at?
On my pad.
What streaming
I have
service?
them.
You own them.
I own them.
Okay.
Yeah, I have like folders, Adam 12. I even have all of the 60s version of Dragnet, the entire series. But I don't have it on my pad. That's on my computer. I have a lot of classic TV, Perry Mason. On my pad, all I have is season 7 and 8 of Perry Mason. I have 2 seasons of Adam 12 and the entire series of 1 season of Johnny Quest, even though it took 2 years for it to air all the episodes. But I love that. And I like, when I'm going to bed, I like watching and going to sleep to Shazam and the Secrets of ISIS. And they're really good shows. The only thing is I was telling Keith the other day, I'm like, holy shit, man. I was watching like a couple of episodes of ISIS and Shazam, and I'll be fucked, man. Some of it was a little woke back in the 70s. Guns are bad.
Yeah.
Violence doesn't solve anything. The fuck it doesn't. Violence will end shit. You fucking get a bully. And this is personal fucking experience. You get a bully fucking with you. You finally stand up and knock the shit out of that bully. 90% of the time, that shit ended right there.
Yep.
Personal experience. I learned that with several people that tried to fuck with me as a kid. And I let one of them, because I was terrified when I first moved to Virginia. I was 8 years old, and I was smaller than everybody. Yeah, I know I'm a giant Sasquatch now. But back in the 70s, man, I relied on my brother Michael to protect me. I have 6 siblings, but my brother Michael and I were very close until his death in 2013. And that guy protected me. And then my dad, and I don't talk about this much, just really didn't traumatize me that much. It just left me with a vacuous fucking hole in my heart. Was my dad kidnapped me when I was 8 and fled from Arizona to the state of Virginia to hide out with me. And in the process, I no longer had my protector. So there was 2 years, a year and a half, where I was smaller than everybody. I was terrified of everyone. And a couple of bullies sort of took advantage of that. They could see how gentle I was. I was a very genteel child. I was very thoughtful. I was always wanting to please people, make them happy, because that was the position I was in my family. Even though I was kind of a shithead as a kid, as a whole, it came to my parents and my siblings, I was the one that wanted to make everybody laugh and smile and be happy. And as my sister Luann used to refer to it, the one that calls me Gerry, she always called me the unifier. The person that would bring peace to situations. I was a peacemaker. When you look at my personality type, INFJ, we are referred to as the advocate. Because we're constantly trying to resolve situations. I'm not a fixer. I'm not somebody like a guy. It's not a masculine trait. It's, I really get sick of, modern feminists trying to make guys feel bad when they try to help others. We want to help people. INFJs, it's not a masculine trait. It's a human trait to want to help people. But they want to turn that into, guys are always trying to fix things that don't need fixing. Men are always trying to mansplain things so that other people don't feel so stressed out and confused. Fuck people that talk like that. So, watching Shazam, ISIS really made me feel better as a kid. And eventually, within 2 years, I got into my first fist fight at school. And I made the mistake because my dad had put me into karate, because my brother Michael was he taught me judo. Very first ever fist fight I was ever in. I didn't throw a punch. I just kept throwing the guy judo throws. And the one I kept doing to him was where he'd pummel me, just beat the shit out of my face. And as he's doing it, I grab him by his shirt, and I'd fall back and put my foot in his stomach and just throw him over me every single time he'd come in. And when the fight was over, my lip was busted, my nose was bleeding, and I had a black eye. Guy didn't have a single fucking scratch on his face, but he had trouble walking when it was over because I kept throwing him like feet in the air, and he'd land flat on his back. He didn't know how to land. And he got up and he went, and he stumbled off. And my brother's best friend was the one that was there. He's like, "You did a good job." But I was scared to go home because my dad I thought my dad didn't want me to fight. And so I was scared to go home. And so my brother's best friend's name was Corgi. And Corgi went upstairs, talked to my dad, and my dad came out on the balcony of the apartments, Camelback Apartments in Phoenix. He looked down at me and says, "Get up here, boy. I'm not mad at you." I go upstairs and he's cleaning off my face, and Corgi's standing there all proud of me. And my dad looks at me and he says, "So you just kept throwing the kid?" I went, "Uh-huh." He says, "You never hit him once." "Uh-uh." "Why didn't you punch him back?" I said, "Mike never taught me how to punch." From that day forward, my dad ordered my brother Michael to teach me how to throw punches. Teach the boy how to punch. And so I held back, though, for years, and I took karate, Ishinryu, under Sensei Carl Hovey of Fredericksburg, Virginia. He's still alive. I'm so grateful. Two of my teachers, Sifu Terry Faircloth, Sifu Al DeCoscos, too. I can't forget him, Mark DeCoscos' dad, and Sensei Carl Hovey are all still alive. I'm very grateful. And I made the mistake of doing a jump front kick on a guy in the 5th grade out in front of the school, waiting in line for the bus because he was being a shithead to me. He says, "Come on, let's fight." So I faked like I was going to take my jacket off, and he took his jacket off. When he turned, I just left my jacket on, and I jump front kicked him, hop kick, and smacked him under the chin, knocked the shit out of him, and fight was over. He was done. But I got called Hong Kong Phooey. You think Backdoor Gerry bugs me? I got called Hong Kong Phooey for a while for that fucking kick. It was humiliating. I never did a martial arts move in public ever again. Not that anybody would recognize. But I got to tell you, during those periods, I was alone. I was used to being around all my siblings, and TV became my brother, my sister. It is my family, and I was just like that character from the TV series Dream On. Mm-hmm. Man, if I wasn't doing homework or doing some shit my dad wanted me to do, I was in front of a television watching it. And one of the best shows when I was a kid to watch was Shazam ISIS Hour. Well, first it was just Shazam. We had that, and then the producers of that show, the same people who made Star Trek, the animated series, they eventually, Filmation, they went on to make He-Man. They were the people that made Shazam, and then a year later, ISIS. And I think one of the weirdest part of watching Shazam was not understanding, but realizing when we got into the second half of the second season, Shazam was a different actor. I was really thrown by that. Why does he look weird? Like his face was puffy or something to me. I couldn't figure out why he looked different. And I don't know if you guys remember watching that. Yeah, number one super guy. You guys remember who played Hong Kong Phooey? Scatman Crothers. Yeah, man. The fucking guy was the bomb diggity, yo. And fucking loved that show. Actually, who was it that did the cover of that? What rock band was that? Was it Sublime?
Did it cover Hong Kong Phooey?
Not Sublime. Not Sublime. Not Sublime.
Who was it then? I'm going to go look it up real quick. Hong Kong Phooey rock cover. That shit was good.
There was two different covers.
No, it was Sublime.
It was Sublime? Okay.
It was Sublime.
I was thinking of something else.
Yeah, it's right here, man. Hold on. Let me...
Were you thinking of Kung Fu Fighting?
Well, I was Kung Fu Fighting, yes. That was redone by Jack Black. But there was an album called Saturday Morning Cartoons that was done by punk rock bands. And then there was one done by rock bands.
Let me open this shit up real quick. Wait, did I share audio? I don't know if I shared audio on that. Let me double check.
Boss, we have a super chat from Wajid Leakey.
Wajid, good morning. I haven't said good morning to everybody. I'm being an asshole today. I need to say good morning to everybody. What's the...
It's a guy saying, how's it going?
Oh, well, thank you, Wajid, for the $3
super
$3
sticker.
quid. Is that $3
Yep.
Yeah.
$3, mate. Cheers, mate. Here you go. For you, I'm going to play just a few seconds of this song. I fucking love this cover. Ah, that's some good shit right there. I haven't listened to that in a while. I think the last time I listened to that song was like 2007. I was playing it on one of my MP3 players. So let's
you have to listen to it today then.
Well, I just added it to a playlist, so I will definitely be listening to it. So first non-panelist to post in the chat was D Bud Martin. Good morning, D Bud. Gap After Dark. It's good to see you guys. Dr. Dragon is here. Let's see. Alf Jeebus, Monkey Jeebus, thank you. Come again. Penny is here. Good morning, Penny. I got to talk to your boy last night. He was out with Cece, and we got to chat for a few minutes. It was good talking to him. Let's see. Anybody else? Dragon Briggs is here. It's a House of Dragons. And Anima is here. Love of my life. She is here. Decepticons Cave of Villains. Magitech Mags. Hey, did you like the shitting I did on that guy that blocked you? There will be much gnashing of teeth. Fuck that guy. Eastland Burkholder. Good morning. There was a Colonel Burkholder in Hogan's Heroes. That's where I know that name from. He was the heavyset German that was a member of the Gestapo.
Mr. Tickle Trunk gave us a $2 super chat.
Yeah.
We porn bots already? Get the fuck out of here. What? 5 minutes ago, we had actual fucking porn bots in here.
Yes.
Sex bots.
So, we have a thank you for Wajid.
Yeah, I played it.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the Hong Kong Fooey thing.
Oh.
Mr. Tickle Trunk with his $2 Canadian lurking today. Remember to look around. Yes, I'm going to have to watch that this weekend. It's been a while since I've seen that. That was a fucking awesome little show. Our good friend Christopher Moonlight is here. I'm going to let you do it if you're going to do it. Let's see. King's Pork Cal is here. Good morning, Cavatino, Calriman, Shay. No, Karate Kid was not based on me, but I identified with it because I didn't, by the time I was old enough, man, I didn't hold back anymore. I got sick of bullies really quick. And the first time I really unleashed on a bully, I mean, really unleashed on him, I fucked with him all the time. Like John Rakes, it's his real name, Jonathan Rakes, was one of my bullies that would fuck with me. And in the fourth grade, he tried to pants me, or I always refer to it as de-pantsing, because pantsing is somebody who's pulling their pants up. He de-pantsed me in the locker room before gym class. And I've been a smartass my entire fucking life. You think this is like something I learned as I got older? No. I've always had a snarky, sort of friendly, not less snarky, just sarcastic sense of humor since I was a kid. And he pulled my pants down in gym class, and I turned to him and I said, "Thanks, John." Then I kicked him into the locker and I put my shorts on for gym class, and it really fucking irked him. Made him want to beat my ass even more. And what I found is, one of the most helpful things to me as a kid, having a sense of humor, because I've always said bullies can't chase you when they're laughing.
I had a different solution to bullies in high school.
High school is different.
Yeah. Well, even in junior high, this weird thing, because AIDS was such a thing at the time, because I was this like goth punk rock kid, for some reason, everyone got it in their head that I had AIDS. So I would just like get in their face. And go,
it's like the song from Trey Parker and Matt Stone for,
yeah, like that.
Got AIDS.
I just used to tell them like, yeah, hit me. Fine. I'll flick my blood in your eyes. And they'd be like, eh.
Leave him alone, motherfucker.
Like, yeah, whatever. And then they walk off. But they were actually terrible. I mean, I thought for a while.
Did they yell at you later, like from across the room? Hey, Chris, I'm pretend hitting you right now.
It's a weird thing. I for sure thought they were just trying to, be snarky with me. Like, yeah, that guy's got AIDS, but they legitimately believed it for no reason at all. So I just used it to my advantage. And,
fuck yeah. It works.
So, but, yeah, hey, you were talking about the, Shazam thing though. I saw something and I was looking for it on Midnight's Edge, the Facebook page for Midnight Edge. Somebody posted some it kind of looked like a combination of Shazam and Wonder Woman, and it's being shot in Korea, and it looks like everything you'd want out of a superhero movie.
Ooh, you should find that, and then we can like maybe watch.
I'm looking for it. I think it got kind of lost in the scroll. I think it was Midnight Edge. Maybe it was Bounding into Comics, but I'm scrolling and looking for it because it is just like this hot woman in like this great superhero outfit that's sexy, and Hollywood would be like, oh no, we need to tone that down. This is just unapologetically great. I'm like, yeah, I'll watch this.
Well, for the thank you video for Mr. Tickle Trunk, I've got it queued up here.
Tickle Trunk.
Boom, baby.
Talk like this and some Panama City sailor want a hump bar. Sell crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here.
Boom, baby.
I love that line.
Yeah. I've done that so many times to people, just said those lines. It's one of my favorite moments in cinema history. That one, when the girl at the receptionist says, how do you write women so well? I love his response there. And
hold on, I got to get everybody what they want.
It's really one of my favorite Nicholson films. Oh, Nursing Kitty.
Gratuitous pussy shot.
And then, of course, we have Magitech Mags, who she's done two.
Yes.
All right, first one for Magitech Mags, $5. Remember to look around you, including the back door. All jokes aside, love you, Gerry. Your tweet made me giggle. Yeah, I just felt like fucking with that guy, and he blocked me for doing it. And I was really not being mean. I was just like, how can you block Mags? She's the single best Mag. Mag. Did I say Mag? I said Mag. Yeah, I said Mag on Twitter. I mean, even better than Newsweek and Time. And he fucking blocks me. You're like, what? What a fucking douche nozzle. I said somebody needs to do an intervention with him and remind him that the world is diverse without you trying to make it that way.
Well, I looked through some of his tweets. He's not exactly...
Oh, I never read a goddamn thing from that cocksucker. If he blocked Mags, he doesn't have a fucking word to say that I'm interested in.
Oh, no, he doesn't say anything interesting
that
except...
guy. And for you, Mags, thank you for that one. $5 super chat.
Stop that. It's silly. Very silly indeed.
There you go. Now let's get to the other one. Magitech Mags gives another $5 super chat. Also, hello, gentlemen. Breakfast sausage fest this morning. Yum.
Oh, wait.
You were really good. You were good with the sausage fest this morning. And then you added the word yum. And that just really, that's filthy. You're a dirty girl.
Weightlifting for girls in the chat.
For that video, you are going to get, what else do I have that's new I want to play? Let's see. Oh, yes. Here's another favorite of mine. This is for you, Magitech Mags. Nobody does Arnold's face. And that, by the way, that's before he had the correction done to his teeth. He still had the gap.
That's actual footage of him conceiving his son with that maid.
Did you see his eyes blow up over that? That must have been some really good poontang. Anyway,
we have a new member.
Kitty Bear Stephen Paul. Good morning, buddy.
Good
morning. You joined.
Hey Gerry, check your your personal Facebook message. I posted the photo in there.
Okay.
Yeah, aren't you? Aren't you?
Oh wow!
Aren't I what?
I say isn't that going to be part of what you're talking about over on Nick Weiser's show tonight?
This looks Filipino.
Yeah, I believe it is from the Philippines. It is. Hold on a second. I forgot the name already. Oh crap! It scrolled back. Facebook refresh. Damn it. They had somebody posted the wiki for the character. It's an old character. Like I think she's a public domain character, but I'm all for it.
For yours joining, I'm just going to give you this wonderful image. Every morning, I'm going to start this again. I used to take horror images and I would turn them into more. Good morning. It's something I stole from Steve Niles, because I've known Steve for a while, and he would post fucking horror pictures and go, morning. And so I started doing my own version of it with really gross or scary things, or having classic characters. I have one here. Let me grab it real quick under downloads. This is one of my favorites I did. Because like, know how grumpy we can get. Here it is.
Here it is.
It's like, this is Van Helsing, or not Van Helsing. It's the same actor who played Van Helsing. He turns and he says, morning. And Boris goes, fuck you. I'll take mine black. And then, of course, this one's one of my favorites. Morning. And that is Cronenberg's version. He loves doing body horror, man.
That's all that's his thing.
His entire thing, yeah. And like Rabid he took a porn actress and made a legitimate horror film with her. That was Marilyn Chambers, best known for Behind the Green Door. She was also known as the Ivory Girl before she did porn.
Green Door is also a great Cramp song.
Yep. And this is Gerry saying, come hither. This one is for Anima Confusa. Morning, baby. Yeah. Yeah.
Now don't scare her. Don't scare her.
And again, I want to share Captain Picardo saying, make it happen, from the 2-part episode of Best of Both Places. It's I think that series is called Star Trek The Next Gang.
Yeah, we have another super chat from Mr. Tickle Drunk this time.
Uh-oh. Let's get it up there. Mr. Tickle Trunk. That's a villain. I'm gonna have a villain named Mr. Tickle Trunk. My name is Mr. Tickle Trunk, and I'm going to tickle you to death. I'm
quite sure that would have attracted some of the bullies in my school, but
yeah. It's like, if you're gonna bully me, please don't tickle me, whatever you do. I'll shit myself. And then get them to tickle me. See if they can make me shit. So Canadian $5 from Mr. Tickle Trunk. My solution to bullies was waving my hands like this and then saying, don't touch me, or I'll get an erection, Stephen Fry.
Mine was just to hit him, but I guess that works too.
I love Stephen Fry. I have loved listening to him talk since the 80s, man. He is fucking funny, Stephen Fry. And he's gay. But I got to ask you, is he this gay?
Nobody's that gay, Gerry.
I was that gay.
Not anymore.
That reminds me of an archer when was it Ray is in line to have sex with Lana, and they're like, Ray, I thought you were gay. He's like, please, nobody's that gay.
Yeah. Let's see if I have a video for Mr. Tickle Trunk here. Did I make anything yet? You looking? I'm looking.
All right, Mr. Tickle Trunk. I'll lift weights for you while you wait.
I'm looking for a video for him. I do have that one. I could show that one. Or I could show that one. God, there's so many good videos.
It's usually the ladies.
I'm looking. I think I want to do. Yeah, I'm going to give this one to him this morning. Boom, baby. There it is. For you, Mr. Tickle.
What is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women. That is good.
There we go. That is for you, my good friend. My good friend.
And we have this one from Mike again.
Now, you guys are spoiling me. I'm serious. I'm serial. I got bullied a lot by both girls and boys. So as an extrovert, I learned to accept my own company. Why I try to be kind to everyone. I don't want people to deal what I got dealt as a kid. Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, Mad Check, and for that one, God, you guys are really pushing me with the fucking videos this morning.
Yeah, making Gerry work.
Yeah, I'm just
Thank
having
you,
to do
Mad Check.
things. I'm doing things that I don't want to do. Look and see if there's anything. Oh, here we go. New one. This is good.
For that, you get the head, the tail, the whole damn thing.
Thank you, Martin. Martina Costa Santana posted that one up there. And that one is
like
for
when I'm
you,
trying
Mad
to
Check
negotiate
Max.
with my wife.
Thank you for the $10, sweetheart. You are awesome. God, I love our family. This is a family that gives me money for being stupid in public. And there's another new one. Yes, I'm going to put this one. Is going to be the next one for anybody that does anything. I'm going to play this next one. And Pop Culture Minefield posted member chat Maria with 6 months PCM. Boom. Yeah. Love you guys. Thank you for the smiles. You are awesome. You're awesome. And now for Maria, who is, by the way, if you've not watched her show, she is such a sweetheart. She is now a Zen priest. I don't know if they refer to it as priestess. I don't think that we should. It's like actor. I refer to women most of the time as actors, because I think that actor and priest should be genderless as a title. I think it's silly always having to make things into the gender that it's holding. It's like, if you're a priest, you're a priest. And she is a Zen priest, and really fun to talk to. And for you, Maria, you get this new one from Martina Costa Santana.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
That is such a great moment in cinema history right there.
Didn't we talk about that the last time I was on?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
And that's why, I guarantee that's why Martin found that.
And I just found, I'm subscribed to her already, but T with Telly YouTube channel link, because everyone should subscribe if they're not already.
Yes. Did you share it in the chat?
I put it in the chat. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you.
Look this one. This name, it sounds familiar to me.
Yeah. I don't
Maria?
know.
Or
that's Anima Confusa.
I'm confused, huh?
And genderless. Yeah, my anus is definitely genderless. Brightest day. Good morning, my friend. Who else has joined? Monkey G. Oh, that motherfucker. You put a fucking mandrel for your image because he knows those fucking things freak me out. Mandrels are scary as fuck, dude. They are scary as fuck. 6-inch fangs. Fletcher Williams is here. Good morning, Fletcher. How are you doing, my friend? We have a lot of people here. I want to make sure I say hi to everybody. Washid, of course. Thank you for being here. Che is here. I think I got everybody. Yep, got everybody. Good. So, wait, you put it in the private chat. Did you share that, Martin?
Yeah, he's got it up
okay,
right now.
Oh, I see it. There it is. Yeah, thank you, man.
Phrasing.
Oh, it's always about phrasing. I put it here.
Now, while Gary's still thanking everybody, I was doing some research in the background, and you can go watch Shazam and ISIS Hour on Tubi.
Nice. Tubi strikes again.
Also, if you go on YouTube, you can also watch ISIS, the Secrets of ISIS, on YouTube, SD quality, but it's the same quality you would have watched when it was on TV.
Yeah, you don't want HD. You don't want stuff transferred to HD if it was shot for that format.
Not if it was shot in 4:3. No.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, by season 2 of Shazam, they had gotten better at some of their flying effects. Because season 1, it was him on a box.
Yeah.
Blue screened, and but then they did some really interesting stuff. Like ISIS's flying scenes I thought were the best.
I think they're using wire by then.
They were using a wire with her, so she would do that hero pose, and you would almost get a 3/4 low angle of her flying, and her skirt would be blowing a little bit as she was flying. And she was a gorgeous actress. God, we lost her a few years back. I think
I remember
died
that.
of breast cancer. How people die of breast cancer in this day and age just blows my fucking mind. God.
Boy, we got a lot of people in the chat today.
Yeah, it's 21. Actually, we're almost up to normal. We're normally between 26 and 30. But, you know, I don't know how many people want to. And, of course, also, you know, you put the word, you know, ISIS in there, and I'm assuming that YouTube might be penalizing me for that.
Yeah.
Because even though I'm not talking about that one, I'm talking about a goddamn kids show.
Ooh, Kingsport Call. Is that how you say that?
Yeah, Kingsport Cal.
Okay, Blade and Blade 2. I freaking love those movies. But I actually feel this is going to be sacrilege to a lot of Guillermo del Toro fans, but I still think that the first Blade is the better Blade. Blade 2 is awesome.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, there's no question about it. It absolutely was a better story. The problem was the effects. They really need to redo the effects for that.
Oh no, it's so it's so of its era, like low budget 90s. Even though they are shitty, I still love them. I still love the way it looks. I love Snipes' one-liners. Snipes is having a great time making that movie. And when that movie came out, I saw it, I freaked out, and I went, "Oh, good, he agrees with me. Thank you. Yes." And like I instantly grabbed this girl I liked at the time, and I was like, "We got to go see this movie again." You know, it's just freaking love that movie. It is of its era. It cannot be repeated. There's no way Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to do anything near as great as what Snipes. And that was Snipes' movie as well. He's God, what was the name of the director he got? It's a brilliant director. Did a lot of effects works for Stan Winston, and then went on to direct and did League of Extraordinary Gentlemen as well, which I think was a good movie. But
I like it.
Yeah, but you know, Snipes really pushed for that movie, and what I actually heard from insider information was originally Snipes wanted to be Black Panther, and he was talking to Stan Lee about being Black Panther, and I don't know if it was rights or whatever, but Black Panther.
I would have liked to see him play T'Challa. That would have been interesting.
Yeah, it would have been fantastic. Yeah, but I think because of the settings and all that sort of thing, and superhero movies themselves weren't as marketable back then. Blade seemed more of something that would kind of bridge between comic book character and action hero in movies, and it turned into Blade. But again, Snipes advocated for that movie, and I think, you know, I know he checked out by the third one, and the third one was, you know, but I thought Keith was here for a second. You got his avatar.
Fucking yeah, changing my avatar, that motherfucker.
Anyway, you know, but thanks for mentioning that you saw it on Tubi last night. Again, I'm kind of becoming a Tubi fanatic, not just because my movie's on there, but you know, it's just they just have such a great library, and it's all free. So.
Absolutely, and I love that on the TV series, What We Do in the Shadows. Hold on a second, I got to go find it. His name, I forget his name.
While you're trying to find it, Chris, what was the name of your movie?
Oh, The Quantum Terror. Yeah, thank you for so The Quantum Terror now on Tubi, Filmzy, and Amazon Prime if you want to skip the ads, but you do have to rent it on Amazon Prime. But yeah, thanks for mentioning that. I am movie's doing really well at the moment. I'm really happy about that. Christopher Lee.
It's a good film. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. Yeah, we should do at some point. Yeah, we should do a watch party. I would love to do that and discuss it. I want to hear what you guys interpret from it, because it's one of those movies where, hey, good morning, Scribe. It's one of those movies where
here.
I meant it to be something that people could see different ways, and I've gotten a lot of different interpretations of it, and they're all different what my intention would be. But I just want to mention Monkey Jeebus says Christopher Lee should have been T'Challa. I wrote a whole song, a dance song called "Do the Christopher Lee." I'm gonna have to record that at some point. It's like it sit on the shelf well with the Monster Mash and the twist, and you sing it in the style of Christopher Lee with that deep voice. So,
I don't remember what it was, but he was given direction once, and it might have been a Peter Jackson. I can't remember.
I know what you're talking
somebody
about.
gave
Stabbing.
him direction about stabbing somebody, and he says, "Oh, I quite know how that feels." Because people forget that he was a fucking murderer. And during World War II, he killed people up close and personal.
He was like a secret agent. He was like,
there was a lot of inspiration in James Bond from Christopher Lee, because he was second cousin to Ian Fleming.
Let me see if I can do this. Let's see. So I said to Peter, no one would scream out when stabbed in the back. They'd make an inhaling sound. How do you know that? No reason.
It's like 9 inches. How do you know that? I just know that that's nine inches. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, I want to go back to the thing. So and I want to say something. Somebody who was it said something? Was it? Yes, Mr. Ticketron.
Yes.
This is where I like Taika Waititi. It's in his original shit. I like What We Do in the Shadows. I enjoy that fucking show. And Donald Logue, who plays one of the vampires in Blade, plays a version of himself who is actually a vampire in the show What We Do in the Shadows. And it's just really kind of funny because he talks about Blade in his first episode. It's funny. And Donald Logue is somebody who I think is kind of a shitheel because of some of the shit that he's done publicly with his kid. I think that anybody that does that is an abuser of children. And
not familiar with this. What's he done?
I don't want to get too much into it, but while legally underage, they started doing the identification as with their kid, and the kid's got all kinds of fucking mental problems. And it can't be that. You know, Sweden, the first place to do the first gender reassignment, still puts people through a strenuous exam period before they're allowed to have that done to weed out any kind of mental illness, including sexual identity dysphoria. And when you see the movie Silence of the Lambs, Buffalo Bill was one of the people that was weeded out as a character.
Oh, in the book, it goes into more detail about how he, when he was turned away, he would get violent. Which was not, like push doctors over and that sort of thing. And if you look too, he's, the photographs in the background, he's like posing with strippers and stuff. And, so he's not an actual, and exactly what Hannibal says, Billy isn't a real transsexual, although he thinks he is.
Yep. And so therefore, and that's the thing that they used to weed out. But now you've got these clinics all over the world that I think are doing harm. And that's one of the things with the Hippocratic Oath is to do no harm. And they're harming children. Of all fucking things in this world to hurt. That is a sin unforgivable, in my opinion. Going straight to hell. But ask for forgiveness all you want, you're going to hell. Even though I don't believe in hell. Oh my God.
But we were talking about What We Do in the Shadows.
And I was talking about Taika Waititi, and that's where he does well in his original stuff. I like JoJo Dancer. I like his
JoJo Dancer
stuff. Yeah, JoJo, whatever that show is called,
JoJo
Rabbit, whatever it was.
Yeah,
Tiny
JoJo
Dancer.
Rabbit.
Yeah, the thing with Taika is that he's one of these people. He does well as an indie person. He does well with his humor.
Yeah, it's when he gets a hold of other people's IP, because his sense of humor works in his own stuff because he's irreverent. So he can make fun of things in his own stuff. He's making fun of the vampire genre with What We Do in the Shadows. It's a fun show. I enjoy it.
Invited to a superb owl party. I love that line.
I don't remember that.
But superb owl?
Yeah, JoJo Dancer is Richard Pryor. That's right, Monkey. I got that in my head for some reason. Have you looked around you? Look, if hell exists, the Middle East and parts of Africa are hell, where they machete people to death. But no, I'm an agnostic. I don't buy into that stuff.
We are very ADD today. Went from
no, I'm being asked. I
Jojo
got asked a
Rabbit
question. I'm not ADD. I'm answering a question. I'm looking in the chat and reading questions and answering them. That's part of what this show is me responding. But Pop Culture Minefield is notoriously ADD theater.
Well, we're literally walking through a minefield of ideas.
Yes.
That's apt name. Did you
baby went to Africa. That's Voices, Hollow Notes, one of the greatest fucking 80s albums.
That's Hollow Notes. Yeah, great album.
They just fired their producer and they produced that album themselves. And that's when they got their first real hit. It was from that one.
I went to a Hollow Notes concert backstage when I was a little kid and got their autograph. Wonder what happened to that.
Really?
Oh yeah. Well, you got to remember, my dad was a rock band manager, so I was always going backstage at concerts and meeting people. I met Eddie Van Halen when I was a little kid, when I was like 5 years old. I don't remember it. My mom claims that I had him in hysterics, so I'd like to know what I said to him. But anyway.
Supposedly they're working on a new album right now, and you can also catch Live at Daryl's House show all the time as well.
I like that show. Good. I like that show. You should believe in the devil if he believes in you. I believe in evil. I believe that there is some malevolent evil, and I have no doubts of its existence. I've seen
I don't know the origin of this line, but I will never forget it, and I do believe it is the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was to convince people that he didn't exist.
Didn't exist, yeah.
I think it was Baudelaire.
Isn't that used in The Exorcist?
No.
There's a movie that has that in there.
Yeah, but it's from a European figure. I think it was Baudelaire.
Voltaire?
Baudelaire.
Oh.
I think.
I don't know, but it's a good line. The Exorcist has good lines about evil in it as well, especially if you read the book. That and Legion, which is
you should always, because the book I always thought was better because it dealt with Kinderman's character more. And his
the book,
investigation.
Again, this is like what we were talking about before with different mediums. The book can expand on stuff. I think the movie in its own right did a brilliant job of distilling what the book meant. But yeah, there's a lot of Kinderman in there.
Well, it's adapted by the guy who wrote.
Oh yeah. Book. Well, William Peter Blatty, I mean, especially
he was a comedic writer. A lot of people don't realize that, man.
It was hilarious. And he's one of the people that I go to for dialogue writing all the time. I go
excellent dialogue. Yes.
He and if you watch The Exorcist 3, which he wrote and directed, George C. Scott, and I forget the other actor who plays the priest that he's friends with, but they have some great exchanges, and they're funny, they're meaningful, they're they advance the story. It's a brilliant movie in its own right. If you forget about The Exorcist 2, The Heretic, which is just a psychedelic trip of a movie.
Yeah, I don't like that film at all.
Yeah, it doesn't fit. It's like a parody of The Exorcist. It's got interesting stuff going on. It is a trip, but The Exorcist 3 is the true sequel to The Exorcist.
Yeah, Richard Burton, like why did I do this film? Brightest Day, Joe's Atmosphere. Joe is here. Good morning, buddy. Scribe Light, Diablo Dame, and Sean E. Step. Good morning, everyone. Look, the last Exorcist film, both versions of them, people are like, yeah, did you finally get to see the original cut? I'm like, yeah. What did you think? It was better than the one that they released, but I got to tell you, I don't like either of them. It's like they forgot what The Exorcist was about.
Oh, they didn't know what The Exorcist was about to begin with. It's just a cash grab. I will say this. Both movies were good, but they were not Exorcist films, and they're not going to be near the quality of The Exorcist. I never saw the series. Somebody told me that the series was actually decent, but again,
I enjoyed the series. It stumbled with season 2, which is why they didn't pick it up for a third season. And I thought it was a mistake what they did, because they basically said that Regan, Gina Davis's character on the show, was grown up and she was possessed still. And I was like, you know, I don't like that. But they're bringing it back. I don't know if it's a reboot or what they're doing, but they're bringing The Exorcist back to Fox.
Well, you can't repeat it. You know, it's like, I'll give you an example. I wrote a treatment for an actor friend of mine, and I gave it to him, and he read the treatment, and he goes, you know, and it had an ending that I thought was very powerful. And he read it and he went, "This is fantastic. Yeah, I definitely want to be a part of this." So I wrote the script out of the treatment and I gave him, he read the script and he's like, yeah, it was a really great script. You did a great job, except I wasn't hit as hard by the ending this time. I was like, because you know the ending this time. And that's the same with The Exorcist.
I've always corrected people that The Exorcist is not a horror film. It is a film about faith. And how the main character in that story isn't Regan. It's or Reagan, however you want to say her name. It's Father Damien, who is a man who is a Jesuit priest who has lost his faith. He's lost his faith in people. He's lost his faith in God because of his mother, what's happening to her. And he's kind of broken. Led to one of my favorite moments. Help a fellow Catholic father from Altar Boy, you know, that scene in the subway in New York. But I cry at the end of The Exorcist.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Although I'm going to argue with you about the best line. I think when Kinderman is asking Damien questions and Damien leans in and goes, "You know who I think did it? Who? The Dominicans. Go bother them."
Yeah, go bother them. What a great actor he was. He died young. The actor, he got to reprise the character though in a film that I do appreciate, Exorcist 3, which is based on the book Legion by William Peter Blatty. And Blatty once again adapted his own script, so I thought they did a really good job. Sadly, the gentleman who played Kinderman in the original film, Lee J. Cobb, had died. Yeah, you've got it too. I love that book.
Legion. Here's a old copy of The Exorcist. I love this cover.
I have that. No, I have that one too, but I have it in paperback.
There is this collection here, 999, which I got a long time ago, and it has a story, a short novella by William Peter Blatty called. I'm sorry. What? Suddenly, I'm blocking on what it's called, but it's like his retelling of Turning of the Screw. Elsewhere is what it's called, and it's like, or not Turning of the Screw, the Turn of the Screw, I think is what the title is.
Yeah.
But it's like it's his adaptation of that, and it was really interesting to see because it's very obvious that he's taking from C.S. Lewis's story, but he's adapting it to his own thoughts and feelings on that scenario, which is, you know, Stephen King should use that excuse every once in a while. Did you see, does anyone know Stephen King, this has been on my mind. He wrote a horror story called The 10 O'Clock People. And I don't remember that. It's a short story. It's in one of his books.
That's what he writes best, is his short stories.
He does great.
It's hard to fuck up an ending when you're writing a short story.
This is this story is They Live, rewritten by Stephen King. And it's like, did he just like go on a binge and write it and completely forget that he saw They Live? It is the exact same story. I read it and I was like, I can't believe this. It's like you know, Paul McCartney thought that Yesterday was, might have been someone else's song that he was just trying to think of, and he couldn't find anyone that knew the.
Well, that happens all the time.
Yeah. Well, Stephen King, I think he's like, oh, this is brilliant, and it's just like you just wrote They Live. So anyway.
I want to welcome, of course, our good friend Scribe Blight is here. I'm not sure if I said hi to you, but good morning, brightest day. And I said Joe's Atmosphere, but Alex Moore just dropped in, and Sean Estep. I want to make sure I say good morning to you guys. It's good to see y'all. I got to tell you, I like shows about that, but going back to The Exorcist, I saw somebody commented that the main premise of that story, the devil or the demon didn't give two shits about Regan. It was all about the priest. Everything was happening to the priest, and she was just a means to an end for that demon to get to him. Pazuzu, which I have, by the way, a statue of that in my bedroom.
Pazuzu?
Yeah. You know Brian Ray, John?
Yeah.
Right? He sculpted it for me. It sits in my room. He painted it and everything. It looks like rock. It's really cool.
I don't think I could sleep with that in my room. I think
look, I don't, I'm not afraid of evil. I've seen evil. Not afraid of it. People say you should be afraid. No, not afraid of it. So evil doesn't freak me out at all. I don't believe in possessions.
My house is haunted, so
I believe in hauntings, but I don't believe in intelligent hauntings. But I did say once that if intelligent hauntings exist and are proven, I know I have proof that they exist if hauntings really do exist, because you've never heard of a haunted mobile home. That's proof of intelligence. So, Pazuzu the fifth Teletubby. No, there is one thing I'm afraid of, and
boss. Scott has to go. So
who does?
Scott.
Oh,
Bye,
Scott. I'll see you later, buddy.
Good to see you.
So there was a question by After Dark. I think somebody said that I have to be scared of something, and I'm like, yeah, there was. I've told people, and it's really caused problems. That the only thing I ever feared was losing my daughter, because once you go through a kidnapping, it can fuck with you, and that's the only thing I ever feared. I was constantly anxiety driven over that. I've stood up against some of the scariest shit you'll ever see in this life, and it just doesn't faze me. And it caused the problem with Zoe, because she was around me, and I'm so brazen and unafraid of things that she stopped getting, what's it called? When kids should be cautious with other people they don't know. Stranger danger.
Yeah.
And she didn't have that as a kid. And so I was terrified. She would just fucking open the door. I'd be in the other room. Somebody knocked the door. She'd just open. Hello? And we had to break her of it. Mac, my brother, buddy, Army vet friend, absolutely cured her. He had a burlap sack, flour sack, money sack, whatever you want to call it. And he had stitched X's for eyes and blacked it with the shoe polish, and then did X's for the mouth, and then put it over his head, and he'd tie it, and it looked like something out of a scarecrow nightmare. And he says, well, I'm going to go smoke. And he went out on the patio, and then he jumped down to the first floor, ran around, knocked on the door. Zoe answered the door. She slammed the door and backed away from it. And I walked out. I already knew what was going on. I said, what's the matter, baby? What happened? She goes, so someone's at the door. Well, yeah? They're not right. No? I opened the door. Nobody's there. Nobody there, Zoe. And Mac went around and climbed back up there, took the mask off, and came in. And he goes, hey, what's going on? I said, I don't know. Zoe said so. She's like, yeah, their face was wrong. Their face was wrong. She never did it again.
Nothing like a little trauma to teach a lesson.
Man, sometimes you got to. Because that was terrifying to me, that she was so brazen as a kid. And the doctor said, if you don't show fear around a kid or concern about things like that, they learn that lack of fear. And I'm like, Christ, I got to change my ways. Tomb of Dracula's here. Good morning, War Monkey. War Monkey is here. Yes.
And our
Muslim uncle, yes, is here. Good morning, everybody.
Shazam.
Yeah.
For all my veteran friends, including Che, here you go. One of my favorite memes. Drop the Shazam, please. Thank you. Join U.S. Space Force, still deployed to the fucking desert. There you go. Here's an original meme I wrote about Star Trek. That's how Kirk really stopped Nomad. One cannot quantify the difference of greatness of two of the 80s best vampire films, The Lost Boys and Fright Night. It's simply impossible. And of course, I love this one. If you should ever worry whether you are the authentic enough artist, remember that Orson Welles once went balls to the wall for Marshmallow Peeps. And which has the best blaster face?
My God.
Carrie Fisher always looked like that every time she fired it because she was really firing around and she was terrified of the blanks. And then there's this cartoon that I love very much. Be kind to everyone. Wait, even Gerry? Yeah, Gary's the worst. Look, we've been through this. Yes, be kind to Gerry as well. Ha! Suck it, losers. Not now, Gerry.
That meme is made for you.
Yep. And this one really, like, I don't know why. This word cracks me up. Ineffable. Somebody said that to me one time. I said, you mean it's not fuckable?
Oh, my goodness.
It's ineffable. Okay. There's the picture you were talking about.
Yep. I'm all in for that movie.
Yep.
That's the new Iron Wonder Woman.
I forget I should have been scrolling to look for it. I got distracted, but it's just you look at her and she's like you can tell she's digging this role as well. She wants to be a sexy character and she's having fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it's like, back in the 90s when I'd work with models and stuff, women wanted to do stuff like that. They wanted roles like that. They wanted to feel like they were sexy and having fun. And now everything's like, just, no, we need
to turn it into, take something that was once pretty and turn it into a burlap sack. Because you can't, if you're pretty, the minute you're pretty on screen, you're being sexualized.
Well, not only that, but it was that great meme where it's like a sexy woman and there's another woman going, no, it's creating unobtainable expectations for women. And then it shows this buff guy with swords and the dude's going, man, I got to hit the gym and get some swords.
Yep, there we go.
Hey, Zax.
Tin Man is here. Good morning. Zax is here. Good morning. Yeah. Well, if you look, man, that's the one thing I used to joke about. I said, my God, man, I accidentally with Jason Pankoku, we ended up on ladies' night at I forget the name of the bar that we used to go to, ladies' night there, and I'm looking around and I said, what is with all the women in Birkenstocks and khaki shorts? and it was like, oh, it's lesbian night at this bar. Didn't know it. With two guys just sitting there and they're giving us dirty looks and like, what the fuck is going on here? And it was a nice bar. It was one of those bars that they would give you a bucket on the table of, peanuts in the shell. And it was a great bar. I loved going there. They had Guinness on tap. And we went the wrong night. And but then I thought, wow, this is nothing like the porns. They none of them. They all look like kind of like dudes. Everybody in that bar looks like a dude.
Darna's in the chat. Darna is the character. She's I put the wiki link in there. So
I was looking for it on IMDb, and man, does it have material.
That is really neat. Look at that. I like that artwork. I wonder if I can save that.
In the Wikipedia?
I'm going to have to show it.
I
Share
guess
screen.
it was a TV series.
TV series and a bunch of movies.
I have never heard
There
of
we
this
go.
character until today, but
Me either. But that's pretty cool artwork. Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna look forward to seeing that.
yeah, I am checking out just a Google image search. There's all sorts. Well, there's cosplayers. There's all sorts of things. But yeah, I had no idea about this character. I guess she's big in the Philippines, but it's a great design. I'm glad I have my safe search on, though. I have a feeling if I didn't, it'd be a different story.
Yeah. I wanted to show some pictures here in a second, and it really was kind of weird when they recast Shazam, because and I've never really heard the full story behind why that took place, but I'm guessing that it had something to do with the contract breakdown between the actors.
I mean, TV shows were made on the cheap even back then, and yeah, they would, for them it was just kind of like fodder. I watched the Shazam family cartoon when I was a kid, so I didn't actually catch the TV series. Is the movie? I like the director. I follow him on YouTube of the movies, although I haven't seen the Shazam movie. Is it any good?
I enjoyed the crap.
I liked it.
Yeah,
he's a good director.
I have problems with it, but
well, you didn't like that they used the new 52 version of Shazam, right?
I don't like that. I don't like that. That Billy Batson was not grown up, because what they're doing is big, and I dislike that. I like it. It's two separate, because Shazam is actually an amalgamation of those gods, demigods.
Yeah,
gods and demigods.
It's kind of like, I mean, they changed the nature of Thor as well, because Thor in the comics used to be, what was he, a doctor? And he would kind of be taken over by the spirit of Thor rather than just being Thor himself.
Donald Blake.
Let's see. I'm learning
Wish
a lot.
They reduced to a name cameo.
Yeah, because the
an ex from
it was her ex.
Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
And I'm going to upload an image here, so I'm trying to find it. Let's see here. There's one.
Yeah, I mean, the commercials for Shazam, they did seem a bit childish, but I just figured they were trying to appeal to a younger audience, which I'm fine with. Sometimes, when people complain about something being a little too for younger people, it's like, well, okay, but it seems to me like they're aiming for younger people, especially with how, Billy Batson as Shazam behaves, and they kind of made a joke out of that. Again, I like that director. He's got he started with Lights Out. I mean, it's one of those success stories that I really love. He made a short.
Yeah, when somebody starts making it good.
Yeah.
So this was the original Shazam on TV. That is actor Michael Gray, and not Michael Gray. I'm sorry, Jackson Bostwick, and Jackson played the character for a full season, and a few episodes into the second season, negotiations fell apart, and they recast with this.
Well, this dude looks like he could kick your ass even without superpowers.
And he was really good. He had such a gentle nature to him when he was acting. This guy kind of freaked me out a little bit when he took over the role.
That's completely different body type and face type. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's John Davey. And he just felt completely wrong in the part. But I still enjoyed the show because I liked Michael Gray. He played TV's Michael Gray, played, Billy Batson. And Les Tremayne, who is a big TV actor, he'd been in a lot of B movies in the 50s. But in the 60s, he was in a lot of TV shows. He was a regular because he was so easy to change his look a little bit on Perry Mason. Because I have the entire series, so I've watched him on. I've seen him on there like multiple times, playing different characters. But this guy here, when he took over the role of Shazam, the one thing I say that's really good is see how he's in the fly pose there. That's actually the wire work they were doing, and so he's actually in that pose, and he was really a lot more believable in the flying. And it was some of the early blue screen TV effects that were done back then was on Shazam and then later ISIS. And but in the first season, all the backgrounds were done with film. But when this gentleman took over, John Davey, he and the actress who plays the part of ISIS, both were shot with video backgrounds. So it looked a little different.
Yeah.
It didn't have that classic Superman TV series look.
I like what was it Abdul sorry, I only read the name quickly, but it's gone now. But he said he hated the new 52 Billy Batson because of how it was because he was good of heart no matter what, and in the new 52 he was a liar and a thief, and it's kind of like that touches something that is really
well. That was why the Wizard wanted him.
Yeah,
was
exactly.
Because he was such a good kid.
And this is something that really bothers me about modern comics and modern storytelling is that it's just being done by people who don't get the characters at all. They don't get the core principle of why the character is there in the first place, and they think they can reinvent it and make it better, but it's narcissism. And it's something that I wrote this morning because I was feeling very cranky, and I just want to read this really quick to kind of speak to that and see what you guys think of this. And I just wrote, again, this is me being cranky on Facebook. I'm so tired of living in a world where everything is run by narcissistic fanatics who use other people's suffering as emotional currency to leverage themselves into positions that they did not earn, nor are they remotely qualified for, just so they can propagandize their substandard self-validation fantasies. It's destroying our quality of life and our ability to interact with each other in a cohesive manner. And that might seem a little hyperbolic, but our culture is built on stories. And the reason that we care about these stories so much is because they resonated with us within and helped us form our core values. And yeah, so when you get stuff like that, it may seem innocuous, but absolutely, Gary, it's these are the things that we continue to build our culture on, and they are important. And it breaks my heart to see people being in charge of them that just have no freaking idea why they exist in the first place. They just see it as a property for them to improve on because somehow they know better than the people that came before them.
Look, I just talked about this about Halloween by Rob Zombie.
I never watched it.
Yeah, I tend to avoid the reboots.
And I got angry watching it because the thing that made the 1978 film and book, because I read the book before the film, so scary was that this was a normal kid in a normal family, your average family. And he fucking murders his sister. And he's something unrecognizable because he's just a blank slate when they come home and pull the mask off. In the book, it explains what happened, that he was possessed by an ancient evil spirit. So it was really fucking weird watching that. His version, because like the dad played by Forsyth is a fucking drunk abuser. The wife is a slutty drunk abuser and overly doting on a kid that was torturing animals, clearly a future serial killer. It's like, gee, wow, good job with the irony, Zombie. Zombie wouldn't know irony if it bit him on the dick.
Hey, Keith.
Hey, Keith.
Zombie is absolutely his fucking monsters. Maybe
Hello,
I
kid.
watched it. Fucking crap.
The trailer
Terrible writing.
It was so. I was like, wow, he put no effort in that at all. He just like some dumb. Anyway, yeah, Rob Zombie. I mean, I like White Zombie. I like Rob Zombie's solo career. I like his music.
His music is good,
but he's absolutely
a terrible filmmaker.
Yeah, because he doesn't understand it all. He wants to turn everything. He started directing his own music videos and had fun with that. Dragula is an awesome music video. But he wants to turn everything into his music videos, and that's not.
Well, The Munsters was a vanity project for his woman. She wanted to play Lily. That's what that was all about, and she's terrible as Lily. Just the worst intentional overacting I've ever seen.
She's she was really cute when they,
Yvonne DiCarlo is a beautiful fucking woman and a good actress.
Yeah,
and she played the part. She would do the thing like, "What's that?" She would do that, but she didn't look like she was intentionally overacting.
Yeah, this is the thing, it's like with the new Addams Family as well. It's like I watched the trailer for the Wednesday Addams series.
Not gonna watch it.
Neither am I, because the trailer itself, the plot and the character look insufferable. But what really irked me about it was the actors were just imitating what the cast of the 90s Addams Family had done. I don't mind if there's new versions of something, but find a way to make it your own and do something we haven't seen before and make it great. And this is a tall order, but there's just nothing there. The actors are not trying to create characters. They're just doing either imitations or just schlock. What?
I said, preach it.
Oh, thanks. So but I mean, Raul Julia and Angelica Houston, they came up with those characters, that incarnation of them, and they can do it.
Well, they did borrow mildly from the original TV series.
Well,
which is okay because the TV series did a good job of
translating Charles Adams'
little cartoon
and characters, which really should be the main basis for everyone that wants to play the character. You should first go through Charles Adams's comics and look at what he did and the way those characters are. From that, you then know how to pursue your version of the character. This is part of the maddening thing that Hollywood does in having different versions of things where people just sort of, instead of actually investing time in actually reading and or studying characters and where they originally came from, they look at the previous performances, which you cannot do. It doesn't work. Heath Ledger never would have gotten us to his version of the Joker if he decided, you know what, I'll just check out Tim Burton's first movie here and look at how Jack Nicholson did it. It's like you can't do that. You've got to look to the source material and then from that figure out your direction.
The reason it's not a new Addams Family series and that it's a Wednesday Addams series, and this is because it's made by the people who probably their first crush when they were a kid was Wednesday Addams, and now that they're adults, they've turned to kind of fetishizing her, and so now they've got this this kind of fetishized version of Wednesday Addams now, and everything else
played by a particular actress. That's the other thing.
Well, Christina Ricci.
Yeah, because if you look at it, it wasn't like you had that kind of issue going on with the original actors from the television series. I mean, a lot of what you're talking about, and a lot of the people that you're talking about had, were affected by the film from the 90s, which they should have been. It was a very well done film, and it was a great example of how to take the original material and go beyond where even the television series had gone. Because not a lot of people, I think, had gotten into the work of Charles Adams. There's so many things in that movie that you can get directly out of Charles Adams's comic strips that even fans of the original television series have to go, wow, I didn't realize he was so dark. It's the thing.
No, it really is. We've really, I'm still wanting to talk about Shazam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to get back to it. I'm going to show the intro real quick here because I loved this series as a kid.
Holly never got back to me about debating Snyder. I mean, what would a Snyder Shazam be like? I wonder. It's kind of fits in, but kind of not. So,
yeah. So this is the original intro, which I always liked.
Chosen from among all others by the immortal elders Solomon, Hercules, Atlas, Zeus, Achilles, Mercury, Billy Batson and his mentor travel the high.
I love the fact that he's called Mentor. It's his name, but he's also Billy's mentor in the show.
Highways and byways of the land on a never-ending mission to right wrongs, to develop understanding, and to seek justice for all.
And what I also loved about the show was there was never any major villains. It was always dealing with some local problem in a town that they're driving through. Like Captain Marvel, that's all Captain Marvel ever did. It's funny to me.
it's kind of the same formula they use for the Hulk as well, and the Fugitive.
By the immortals to summon awesome.
Are you guys hearing it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Forces at the utterance of a single word.
Shazam!
There we go. That's the guy who played him first.
Word which transforms him in a flash into the mightiest of mortal beings. Captain.
Look at that, sitting on a box. That doesn't look like he's just laying on a big old blue screen box.
Yeah, but if you're a kid tuning into that for the first time.
Oh, this shit was great. We loved it. He owned that character. The second guy that took over the role just did not do it for me. What's his name? John Davey. Just not good. Jackson Bostwick was Captain Marvel.
He still does conventions.
And who doesn't remember that grew up in the 70s, that circling logo? We saw it with Star Trek. Yep. Those guys, we saw it with Star Trek. What was it? The Archies.
Well,
Sabrina.
Well, you know, Lou Scheimer was the guy behind He-Man and all that stuff.
Yeah, because I was saying that earlier is that Filmation, he started Filmation.
Yep.
And Filmation made these two live action shows.
Yep.
And it was the first that they had done.
Yeah.
Because before that, they had done those cartoons I just talked about. The Archie, Sabrina, Josie and the Pussycats, Josie and the Pussycats in Outer Space.
Gilligan's Island.
Yes, Gilligan's Island animated series.
Planet. They had done the I think they were even responsible for the Brady Kids.
Yes.
And they were also responsible.
The Brady Kids.
They also the Brady Kids and its spinoff, Mission Magic with Rick Springfield.
Yep, the one you talked about yesterday. And also we talked about 4 weeks back. This is one of the crossover episodes of ISIS, and the quality was so good by this season. This was technically the third season of Shazam ISIS. They called it at this point the Shazam ISIS hour. And the first half hour, 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, was Shazam. And the second half hour was ISIS. And sometimes they'd have crossover stories. Yeah, it's fun to do that. Hey, look, hey guys. Hey. So, but look at the quality. Even though that was a video background, they had stopped using stock film footage. They went to doing their own video backgrounds for this.
It does look a lot better. And it's
less posed. Looks more like they're free moving, and it's because they were using wires at this time. Absolutely stupendous change in the quality of the flying scenes.
I like how
they really nailed it too with her, because she would stand there with her arms out, right, stretched, become ISIS, and then she would call for the wind to carry her. And they would actually had a what's that called? A Dutch, the dolly thing. It's like a teeter-totter, and they would physically lift her with the turntable. There was a guy moving the turntable, so as she would lift off the ground, you'd watch her be on a location and she'd suddenly just start going up in the air and turning, and
Yeah.
then they would cut.
Yeah, that's
And it's a
crane.
jib of some sort. It's called a Dutch something. I forget what it's called, and it's really fucking cool. It's like a crane, but it's manually handled.
Are you
And
thinking not Dutch jib? Does it count?
that's I used the word jib, but there was Dutch was the name of it.
Huh.
It was a
I'm
very
not sure.
special one that because I remember using them in a film we worked on in college. And but anyway, they just did such a good job on this show, and I really want to show this woman, man. She was so beautiful, and trying to find a really good picture of her. This one's not bad. Yeah, I hope it's big enough. Now, let me click on larger images. Oh, here's a good shot. Open in a new tab. There we go. Let me share this screen shot of her in the second Captain Marvel. Boom, here it is. And she was just so gorgeous. And I think every boy had a crush on her.
She kind of reminds me of Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yes, she does. She has similar eyes to Catherine. She was so good on that show, and we all loved it. And I felt like they did a better job with her show than they did with Shazam, because she would, even though she was a high school science teacher, chemistry teacher, she would get involved in some serious stuff on the show, actual criminals, whereas Captain Marvel was almost always trying to help solve a problem. Like one of the funniest moments, long before they did Superman the motion picture or Superman the movie, saving a fucking kitten. Billy becomes Captain Marvel to save a kitten on a telephone pole. Was part of the plot. I'm serious. It just fucking cracked me up when I watched it one night. I'm like, holy shit, that really was part of the plot. And then keeping the kitten, and Mentor's allergic to the cat. And by the end of the episode, because he's demanding, get rid of the cat. And Billy says, well, I think I finally found a home for him, Mentor. And he's like, give away Fluffy? No, or whatever the name. It was a funny name for the cat. It was a fucked up name too. Polecat. That was it, Polecat. Because he found it on a pole. Polecat.
Well, Joanna Cameron actually continued to act after she left ISIS.
Oh, yeah, she was in a lot of TV shows.
Yeah, she eventually retired, and I think she was retired when she passed away earlier this year.
Yep.
But the thing about the entire Shazam series is that Mentor was actually supposed to be Mr. Tawny, which is the character from the comics. And if you know Shazam comics, he's the talking tiger. There's a reference to him, or a lot of references to Mr. Tawny in the most recent Shazam film that they put out. In fact, Captain Marvel's costume, Shazam's costume in the movie.
We're going to call him Captain Marvel. It's okay, Keith.
Okay, Captain Marvel's costume, where his cape attaches to his costume, there are these two gold buttons there, and there are two tigers, basically. And that's because Mr. Tawny is such a major role an important role within the Captain Marvel universe, that rather than try to figure out a way of making him manifest in either that show or in the movie, they just decided to have references to him. But he is a big, big character, the same way Alfred is to Bruce Wayne, in a way. So,
and by the way, after the live action series was canceled, Filmation did make an animated with the same actors voicing an animated Shazam series in the right around 1980, as I recall, when it came out.
Yeah.
But I want to welcome Cam's Crash Courses is here. Abdulio is here, and of course Zachariah 315. Bill Berkeley from Scotland is here. Polly Latino Slant is here. Hex Allen Comics and Mighty Orbots is here. Orbots. So, you know, by the end of it, because the shows ended kind of with a fizzle, which really was sad. And they were starting to compete with another company that was doing a lot of Saturday morning live action entertainment. I forget, it's connected to Sid and Marty Krofft, as I recall. Or is Sid and Marty Krofft, which is Electro Woman and Dyna Girl was one of those shows that we watched. And I think that was Sid and Marty Krofft, wasn't it?
Yes,
HR
that
Puffin
one
stuff,
was. Yeah.
And they also did a Bigfoot series, which I confused. I don't know about you guys. I confused it with Bigfoot from $6 Million Man, but it was Bigfoot and his family. And his
Bigfoot
son.
and Wild Boy.
Yeah, Wild Boy. That was a crazy show, dude. That was crazy. But Electro Woman and Dyna Girl was fucking awesome.
Well, it was cheaper in a way to do a lot of live action stuff, whether you're talking Bigfoot and Wild Boy or Electro Woman and Dyna Girl, or even something like Jason of Star Command, or which was one of my favorites. And then it was retooled to be just Star Command. I think about a year or two later. Both of them making sure to have in the cast someone related to some of the major science fiction shows that people enjoyed. Jason of Star Command had James Doohan as part of the cast, and then a year later,
Jimmy was a great voice actor. A lot of people don't know that. He supplied a lot of the voices, like the father figure in the episode with Trelane. That was Jimmy Doohan playing the father. But I wanted to show this one too, because this was, I got to tell you, you know, I always also considered ISIS the inexpensive way of doing Wonder Woman, because they wanted to do Wonder Woman and they couldn't. The purchase or renting of the IP was too expensive, so they created ISIS. ISIS is basically Wonder Woman. And but Electro Woman and Dyna Girl was actually a competitor, really, in '76. I don't know if you remember this show at all.
I do,
guys, but I know you do. But this is I'm going to pause it, of course, so we don't get ganked. That tarantula shot always freaked me out as a kid.
Electro Woman and Dyna Girl, fighting all evil deeds.
No shit, disco fucking theme.
Is this British?
No, it's American.
It's American.
It looks.
This came out in '76, dude.
It looks like a BBC show.
No,
that's the effects. Yeah.
Hiding the light she leads. Electro Woman and Dyna Girl.
That was the Batman take, you know, from coming out of the pole in the off the poles in the cave. This show really stole from everybody, but it was so much fun.
It's badass. Yeah, I love it.
I love that show. Electro Woman and Dyna Girl. Every single one of us, like, yeah, because that was just one of your typical Saturday morning live action shows that Sid and Marty Krofft put out.
Now, did you ever see the movie, the movie that they came out with?
I have it. I actually own it. I've still yet to watch it because I understood it was kind of a parody.
It is. It was. I watched it and I enjoyed the heck out of it. I mean,
because she's like a foul, you know, Dyna Girl's like this foul-mouthed little fucking troublemaker, you know, and I'm just, I don't know if I want to watch that. I don't know if I want to watch that.
I mean, you know, it's really meant to be kind of an update, but a parody. And I'm kind of a fan of the woman playing Electro Woman, Grace Helberg. I've been following her.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. Tree Rock Creations, good morning, welcome, man. But yeah.
By the way, Tree Rock Creation has put in a list of shows of that day that if you were a kid by that time, you are.
Oh yeah,
The Lost Saucer. Yeah,
love the intro on that one. Oh, let me find that one real quick.
You know, with a lot of these particular programs, especially with Shazam. Shazam was nothing more really than an updating of the Shazam movie from 1941, which was actually the first comic book superhero film ever.
Really?
Yes.
Before Batman. Before they did
before Batman. Actually, the company that made it was originally trying to upgrade all their equipment to be able to get the rights from National Comics to do Superman. And National Comics wouldn't let the character go because they thought that they were going to get to a bigger studio like Paramount or Warner Brothers or one of the other ones. So they passed on it. So they turned around and went to C.C. Beck and his co-creator, Bill Parker, and they went to those guys and said, hey, you've got the character that seems to be beating Superman sometimes. Why not just give us the rights to make a movie? And they did. And many of the techniques used in making that movie were still relevant by the early 1970s to use in making the Shazam television series.
Wow, I didn't know any of that. That's pretty cool. I mean, it's funny because we're still when we're not relying fully on CGI, we're still doing different versions of those effects. That's why I love seeing this old stuff so much.
Well, I want to show this real quick. This is the Lost Saucer opening.
I've never heard of this one.
It was Sid and Marty Krofft again.
Out of the sky, out of time,
And I love the cast.
coming to see all that they can find. UFO, flying fun.
Yes, that's Jim Neighbors and Ruth Buzzy.
They go to the moon now, they've been to the sun. Please, please take me along.
I always love their intros too.
Now listen, from future time, they came to see how the world used to be, but something.
Yeah, I do not want to get ganked. This always reminded me of Doctor Who.
Yeah, I get that vibe. Yeah.
And do not be surprised. I do believe this show was stolen from Doctor Who. I really do believe that.
Well, what do you think that episode of Star Trek was all about? They had Assignment Earth. That episode was nothing more than just combining James Bond with Doctor Who.
Yep.
Deep inside, they can't get off of this crazy ride. Please, someone help us. Oh, where are we going in the lost saucer? Somebody help us in the lost saucer.
Fuck yeah, what a show. What a fucking show. I just got chills, just taking me back to my childhood.
And the Ghostbusters live action show that eventually then became the animated series and was the reason why that the Ghostbusters movie a few years later couldn't use the name, at least for the television series.
There's
they
had to call it The Real Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, there was a great the movies that made us on Netflix about Ghostbusters, and they go in depth about the struggle to get that name.
Yeah.
They pretty much like bet everything on that name too. They were because it was going so well.
They absolutely did because they pushed for that name.
Well, they shot the movie using that name. They would do extra scenes with ghost breakers.
Yeah, but the thing is, in the chanting scene, nobody chanted Ghost Breakers. All they said was Ghostbusters.
Yeah, and they pretty much just kept moving forward, going like, we got to get this name or else, and fortunately,
we're going to have a problem. Exactly. Now, somebody, because look, somebody in the chat was saying, who was that? That's the Tree Rock Creations. Dr. Shrinker, Wonderbug. Now, Wonderbug has some interesting trivia. The black kid that was in that couldn't get his acting career going, so he turned to porn. And he wasn't usually doing the sex. He was just one of the actors in it. And one of the things I remember in the late 80s, they did a remake of The Devil and Miss Jones. And he was the devil. And he would do all the talking and shit. And it's the same kid from Wonder Buggy. But here's the intro, Dr. Shrinker.
They just ran right into that UFO. Yeah, you're right. They just ran into that UFO. I've done too.
Crack them on the doctor's dial. We can talk fucking 5 days or 8. Will they always be so smart?
I'll tell you what, Sid and Marty Krofft were the masters of bad TV blue screen.
I'm thinking I missed my calling as a director here. I was born in the wrong time.
Hey, Gerry, do you remember the Star Lost with Kir Duela?
I remember Star Lost.
No,
Wow,
I didn't know that one.
That was a very good one.
That show kind of connects. You go from Star Trek to Space 1999 by way of the Star Lost, and that was a show I think that they actually did in Canada, but it was really well written. I mean, you should look that up and look at some of the writers who contributed to that show, because it was people that contributed to Star Trek. A lot of Star Trek writers wrote for that show. Even Walter Koenig, I think, made cameo appearances on that show. But yeah, that's one of those lost shows of science fiction history, and I love the Star Lost. Wow.
Yeah, no, I want to say something because the show is just forgotten, lost in time. But this was not. Somebody brought it up in the chat yesterday, and I wanted to show it today because it was absolutely one of my favorite opening titles, and I love the series with Commander Ed Stryker.
Yes.
If I saw that logo, I got excited. Kid.
You got excited as a kid, no matter what.
Something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
What a great intro. Look at that car.
I can think of 2 reasons why I like this show.
The mesh Navy outfits on the women.
Oh, jeez.
And the girls on the moon base were hot.
Oh, it was hard not to go into puberty, watching this show. I mean, you definitely notice the ladies.
And I got to tell you, the miniature effects, I think it's Richard Edlin, wasn't it? It was Richard Edlin designed a lot of the...
he designed some of them, yeah.
Yep. And he was always inspired by 2001: A Space Odyssey for designing things to look practical and realistic.
Well, you notice what we just saw. I mean, I think he did that, but also you notice that's also some of the stuff that would be turned around to use for Space 1999.
Yeah. Made by the same people. Look at those miniatures, man. It's so Captain Scarlet and Thunderbirds.
Oh, yeah.
Same company. But I loved, see all the multiple rockets here? And that's always bothered me because I always felt the rocket on the nose cone of the ship was such a waste. They only got one shot for the ships on the moon. You'll see them in a second here. Oh my God, the mobiles are so fucking cool. They were all 1/6 scale. These were giant fucking tread toys, radio controlled. The UFOs are so fucking cool too. There they are. They're hot. Emos back before, not emos. What do you call it? SJW girls with the purple hair. There it is. Take a look at that, man. This is the precursor to the Eagles of Space 1999.
This is the future that I wanted, and the future I got was a different kind of purple hair girl.
Well, exactly. The problem with these ships were the fact that, yes, those are actually weapons on the side, but they only had one rocket instead of having smaller rockets with higher yield. That's all they had to do. It's like just like on the under rocket launchers underneath the other ship, they should have had the same thing on the front end of this.
I mean, this is the kind of stuff that
look at those UFO. Look at this UFO. Yeah, if they didn't hit with that one fucking rocket, they had to go back because they couldn't fly anymore.
This is the kind of thing that Escape from Planet
show.
Omega 12 is gonna be, though. You know, using updated technology, but with the miniatures and like that kind of stuff, that kind of fun. This is like UFO is probably one of the things that really exemplifies that. And one of my dad's friends when I was a kid, he worked on as a cameraman. I think he was a camera loader on UFO and Space 1999. So he had stories about the miniatures and working on those sets and that sort of thing, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I got to tell you, man. Look like vipers. Now, here's a funny thing, because Anima and I watched the original pilot / theatrical movie for Buck Rogers, which had the worst fucking intro scene. It was like trying to be James Bond or something. It was just dumb disco music and him asleep on the letters. Buck Rogers. Who is making all that noise?
Megitech. Hey, how's it going?
Good morning, Mags.
Hey, y'all. Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on my phone, so it's a little strange.
You sound clear. There was just some a little noise coming through at first. But I was going to say, with the one thing about the Buck Rogers, was that the one where it kind of had the superimposed circular images coming out at you? I loved that. I thought that was really cool, the way that they did that kind of video trick of all.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, but I mean, did you guys also watch the movie? Because the movie had a different opening title. You know, it had
what are you talking about?
Was
Buck
that the pilot
Rogers
movie?
I was just talking about that, and I said that. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, what Gerry was watching was the one where you had the letters, and it had a kind of a James.
Yeah, he's asleep on the letters, and this woman, I think it's just one woman in different poses, and it was done like very James Bond like, but the music was terrible. It had lyrics. It was just bad. I mean, it was worse than Shirley Bassey James Bond song. Bad.
Dang.
And don't get me wrong, I love her voice, but those early James Bond themes didn't get good until Live and Let Die.
Well, you can't get any better than Paul McCartney. This is just...
No. Well, they broke the Sherry Bassey mold and stopped using her, and actually hired Wings Paul McCartney to fucking write a James Bond fucking theme song. And of course he had to work with the composer, because every single song from James Bond up to a certain point always had the certain chords that needed to be used in it to match the James Bond theme. Hi, sweetie.
Hello.
You know, that was actually the second rock act.
I gotta start lifting weights.
The first one was Blood, Sweat, and Tears. They hired Blood, Sweat, and Tears to make the song for the title song for On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and that didn't work out. They ended up doing what they ended up doing, but I had always wondered what they would have done given a James Bond title. So.
Yeah, now this is another great intro from the 70s that I want to show. And this show is what made me want to become a paramedic. And I love this show as a kid. Once again, by Jack Webb Productions. I forget the name of his studio. Ty and Mantooth still alive.
Yeah, they're still alive. In fact, Kevin Ty was in a famous quote-unquote movie that everybody likes to watch.
Yeah, and Kevin Ty went on to play a lot of villains. He was the villain in K-9 with Jim Belushi. Yeah.
Yeah. But he was also in Roadhouse. He's the owner of the bar in Roadhouse.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah.
I haven't seen Emergency in decades.
And it's so funny because when I was a kid, I would cosplay, just shits and giggles around the neighborhood,
dude.
And I cosplayed as Kevin Mantooth's character, or what's his name, Mantooth's character,
Randolph. Yeah, Kevin Ty's character. Yeah, well, they had toys. The toys they put out for both that show
and they had a cartoon too,
yes,
produced by Filmation.
Oh, geez. I mean, Emergency was everywhere.
Yeah, the name of the cartoon, do you remember?
Oh, geez.
I don't remember the cartoon, no.
It was called Emergency 51.
See, between that one and Adam 12. And
Adam
Emergency,
12, man. Yeah.
Emergency was the spinoff of Adam 12. And then I think from Emergency and Adam 12, they spun off the Rookies.
And they actually shot a film, and it took place in a different location than the TV series. And it was right after the paramedic program, EMS program, was established. And it was really, a lot of doctors didn't believe in it, didn't think it would work.
Wow.
And it saved fucking lives. Because they weren't, initially, they weren't allowed to do certain things. They had to be in direct contact with a doctor to do some of the things they had to do on scene.
Mm-hmm.
That changed.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and once the doctors began to really trust EMS program, paramedics got a lot more freedom to do what they needed to do for immediate emergency life-saving measures. And I was fascinated with that as a kid, and so getting into the medical field was a goal dream of mine since childhood because of that show.
Mm-hmm.
But Adam 12 also had one of those great, and I think it was each year they would change it a little bit because each year they changed cars, because that was one of the big sells, is that each season law enforcement would get new vehicles, and so they would do the same thing, so they had to change the openings all the time. But I love the basic intro, which is it's the same theme, and you hear the actual radio. They hired an actual police radio operator to voice the character. They did one episode with a sexy. It was like the Star Trek episode when the computers had a sexy voice, and they did the same thing with Adam 12 one episode, and it was really throwing them off their game as cops. But I loved it, and it taught me the first thing you learn in emergency dispatch. See the man. See the man at 116 East Hunterwasser, Blade Runner Lander. So I'm going to share the screen so we can see this one. I don't know why, man. I get into a kick when I get with Keith, and we're like, let's listen to theme songs, great intros.
Gary, I got to run. I got to take care of.
We'll drop back in and let's do, I think Friday, because how long is the film? I forgot.
That's a 78-minute film.
Why don't we do a live showing with it Friday?
Possibly. I have to check.
I got stuff to do. I'm special.
But I think so.
That would be great.
I got more better things to do than hang out with you. Oh, I'm sorry, Chris. Am I mocking you? I'm sorry.
Well, I was, I wasn't going to say it.
You don't even know how to react now. You're like Robin Williams when he doesn't know what to say. Eve Arden.
I got to talk to you off stream at some point before then, though.
And hit me up this afternoon.
Yeah, if I'm not picking up kids. I know picking up kids is like whatever, man.
No.
Or hang out with Gerry.
Yeah. You got to pick up kids. Trust me. You got. Speaking of somebody that had to pick up kids, you got to pick up kids.
Yeah, that's why Danny doesn't do the show in the morning, because he has to drop his son off at school. It's like an hour and a half trip.
It takes a long time. You got 2 kids, 2 schools, those car lines. It's like a third of your day gone.
I hate it when people go through the line in the wrong way, which messes up the whole thing of picking up your kids.
Oh,
you just want to mess with somebody.
Started.
Don't even get me started.
Sometimes I'm jumping out of my car and directing traffic.
I very rarely have to do that for my niece and nephew, but when I do, my blood pressure always ticks up.
Yeah.
Oh no, I fly into a rage. You think I'm a nice guy on this chat? I turn into a monster. If I had super strength, I would be flipping over cars.
In Europe, kids go to school by public transport.
And it's the most normal thing in the world.
Oh well, here in America, public transport is where you put your kids in if you want to like weed them out Darwin style.
No, I'm going to tell you something.
That bad, really.
When I lived in Phoenix with Zoe, she did not want to go to Mesa High School. This is almost like when we're in Springfield. I told Keith about this, that she didn't want to go to the one high school on the north side. She wanted to go to Kickapoo High School. And
Brad Pitt School.
Yeah. So she went there, and I told her, I said, I'm not fucking driving you. So you either walk it or you can catch the city bus. I said, you're old enough now. I'm tired of freaking out about you. You're going to get, and that's what she did. She'd walk with friends. She had to walk with friends. That was the rule. And if she could do that, then she could go to that high school.
Yeah. Anyway, here there's kids like bashing each other's faces into the bus windows because someone stole their Cheetos. Like,
man, I used to like have so many problems on the school bus. But Zoe, when we moved to Phoenix, didn't want to go to Mesa. So she says, I want to go to Gilbert. I said, I'm not driving you. I have to work. So here's what you got to do. I need you this weekend. If you want to go to that high school, Gilbert, you have to find the bus that takes you there. And then you got to catch it every day and catch it on the way home.
I don't want to go to high school. I'm done with high school. You're still talking.
She went by city bus. She took the Sun system, I think is what it's called there in Phoenix, and it was really she became very adept at it. What's this?
Gotta go.
Oh, you gotta go. Your favorite, Chris. Fuck off. Get out of here.
Bye, Chris.
Bye, Chris.
I'll see you later, buddy.
Bye, Chris.
Oh, good. He's gone. Let's talk about him.
It's what the show does to you. It sucks you in and doesn't let you go.
You know what? I would not mind going back to high school. If I could go back to that time, I would not mind.
Oh, hell no.
All right, here we go.
That's a no from me. I'm
Here we
sorry.
Yeah, big no.
I'd only want to do that if I get to keep the knowledge I have now.
There you go.
Exactly, John. Exactly.
All right, here we go. Come on.
All units in the vicinity. Officer needs help. 9226 Van Arden. Shots fired. 1 Adam 12. Handle code 3.
1 Adam 12. Roger.
Look at that car. That was first season. It looked like something from Andy Griffith's show. Because of that shit that I almost became a cop too.
Well, I wanted to become one when I was little. I mean, it was because of shows like that, and it's hard not to see how good they look in the uniform.
Well, they tried to with all these shows by Jack Webb, tried to show a positive light and a very realistic, because a lot of the stories were based on real incidents. So they really wanted to be as realistic as possible for TV in a time when it was hard to be realistic because they had to watch the language and they couldn't do gore.
Yeah. It was definitely something that wow.
Kingsport Cal, fuck Chris. We all love Chris, and I know you do.
Yes,
Kingsport
we do.
Cal.
Especially us girls, right, Max?
Oh yeah,
When
definitely.
he lifts.
Especially when that iron is being pumped.
Well, I don't know. There's quite a lot of shows that had really cool opening theme songs, and that's one of the things that I really miss about television now.
Viking.
Bye, Kingsport Cal.
See you later, buddy.
Good luck.
I really do miss a lot of the opening themes of stuff like, SWAT. SWAT was just awesome. SWAT was one of those shows that you couldn't help but get hyped when you watched it. And then you have Vegas. Oh man, there's none of every time I've gone to Vegas, soon as the plane touches down, I got the theme song in my head. and when you're going down the strip, oh man, I mean,
when I was a kid, I had my favorite 5 toy soldiers, the green one, and those were my SWAT.
Oh yeah. See, a lot of these youngsters don't know. don't know. SWAT was the truth, baby. That was
Oh,
the show.
and what a theme song! That was Quincy Jones that did the theme to that one, as I recall. But here's the last Jack Webb series was Project Blue or Project UFO, based on Project Blue Book, and I love this series.
I watched it all the time.
Ezekiel saw the wheel. This is the wheel he said he saw. These are unidentified flying objects that people say they are seeing now. Are they
This was a huge show for us as kids in the 70s.
proof that we are being visited by civilizations from other stars? Or just what are they? The United States Air Force began an investigation of this.
It was not an investigation, but I love the heart that he put into this show.
High strangeness in a search for the truth. What you were about to see is part of that 20-year search.
Great freaking intro. And they really put some money into the effects on this show, building the model kits and shit for each UFO.
Yep.
Now, if they really had wanted to be realistic with this show, they should have had the command always wanting them to prove it wrong, and them finding out the truth and then having to write out the story that this is what we believed happened, and then make it top secret because of the fact that the Air Force didn't want that released to the public. I like big butts, and I cannot lie. Hi, Six. Good morning. Crazy Like a Fox. I don't remember that show. Does that sound familiar to you?
Yeah, that was a CBS show.
My cop show when I grown up that
Six
I
is
remember
confused.
was always, it's a little later than Adam 12 was Chips.
Oh,
of
fuck
course.
yeah, Chip.
Yeah.
Oh,
My
yeah.
favorite episode as a kid was when HR Puffin stuff made an appearance. Remember that, Keith? In costume.
I grew up on Chips with the reruns, and then I grew up on Knight Rider.
Yep.
See. Now, do you remember the commander of the Chips, their boss?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Chris Pine's dad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Captain Kirk.
Yep. That's the reason why. Well, he looks like his dad now, having made it to that, because he wasn't even.
Well, they've appeared together on screen.
Yeah.
And when you see him, those fucking blue eyes, man.
Yeah.
Clearly, they're related.
Well, Chris wasn't even born when that series hit. That was the thing about it. That freaked me out when I found that out.
Well,
you know what have made this story better? He was
What?
created because of that show.
Oh,
I think everybody on that show, had fans. You know what I'm saying?
I think Paulie's wanting an invite. He says he's free.
yes.
Oh, we're ending.
said-
We're ending. It's the end of the show.
Oh,
We're over 2 hours. and
Well,
I
I'm
got-
gonna tell you something. Chips is very, very great, but
Unless you guys want to continue, I have to go. But Chips, what?
Chips was very good. It was a staple of my youth, but I like TJ Hooker better.
I refused to watch TJ Hooker when it aired because I thought it was a stupid name.
It is.
Yeah, I get the thing of the name, but the show was great, and it was it was Shatner.
I got hurt. I hurt myself trying to do that hood slide when I was a kid.
Yep.
Show some respect for yourself. Gerald the Derelict is here. Good morning. So we got 6 in the house. We gotta do our thank yous. Let me get up to private chat. There we go. Get back to the beginning here. D. Bud Martin, thanks a lot, buddy, for being here. Gap After Dark. The Gap, previously known as Gal Gadot's Gap Between Her Thighs. Dr. Dragon.
Gerry.
Alf, she was skinny and she had a big gap between her thighs. Alf Jeebus. Penny. Dragon Bricks, Anima Confusa, who is right next to me, embarrassed. Magitech Mags, who is on the
Very
show.
embarrassed.
Less embarrassed, Magitech Mags. Decepticons.
Why do you think I always have my avatar on?
Yeah. So I can't see you face palming. Cavatino Calruman Shea, Eastland Burkholder, not related to Colonel Burkholder from Hogan's Heroes. Wajid Leakey, Kingsport Cal, Maria with T and Telly.
Boss,
Mr. Tickled Trunk.
Boss, I hate to interrupt you, but we have a
I'll do it
sticker.
afterward. I'll do it afterward. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Mr. Tickled Trunk, Fletcher Williams, Brightest Day, Joe's Atmosphere, Scribe Light, Diablo Dame, Sean Estep, Alex Moore, Your Muslim Uncle, Our Muslim Uncle, The Tomb of Dracula, War Monkey. We had 2 monkeys here today. Almost a full house. Tin Man, Cam's Cans Crash Courses, Abdulio, Zachroth 315, Bill Barkley, Latino Slant Polly, Hex Allen Comics, Mighty Orbots, Tree Rock Creations, of course, The Amazing Six, Daryl the Derelict, and Darius Munchausen. Good morning, my friend. How are you? I shit on him pretty bad last night on 70's show. On 70's Rock Fan Show. I can't even remember what the fuck I said to you, but I said a couple of fucked up things to you. It's good to see you this morning, buddy. $4 super sticker. I don't know what it is. Can anybody else see it and tell me what
It's
it
the
is?
guy holding out the cup of coffee.
Outstanding. Let's see. For you, you're going to get a couple of things, several things here. You're going to get this image of this new Filipino superhero movie based on a comic. You're going to get this great image of Captain Marvel and Isis flying together and posing together here, the second Captain Marvel. And then I'm going to give you a video clip, and let's see, what am I going to make the video
He
clip?
gets all that, and I don't even get a video for my 3 months.
And thank you, Martin, for breaking this up. You're going to get 3 videos.
Do you know what nemesis means? A righteous infliction of retribution manifested by an appropriate agent.
This sounds interesting. I wonder where it's going.
Personified in this case by a horrible cunt. Me.
Oh man, I would love to deepfake your face on that.
Yeah, now this one is for Keith showing up today.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
It's such a great scene. I love that fucking movie, man. I love that fucking movie. But that's it for today, boys and girls. Been fun show. Thanks for showing up, guys. Thanks, Chris, for being here today. Hope you get to show up. I would like to do Friday, to do a live showing of his film with him there, if he's able to do it. If not, we'll plan it for another day. Thanks for showing up, Keith. Thanks, Scott, for being here this morning, too. Thank you, John. Thank you, Magitech Mags. The single best mag on Twitter. Even better than Time and Newsweek.
You flatter me, Gary. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if Keith saw that I fucked with that guy that blocked you. And that was a lot of fun. I'm like, why did you block her? She's the best mag on Twitter. Well, other than Time and Newsweek. How could you block her? You're so heartless. And then he blocked me. And I'm like, I wasn't even mean. I was actually being funny and nice. And he fucking blocked me. I'm like, someone needs to give that guy an intervention on not blocking people who are diverse from his thinking. Because diversity is good. Diversity of thought. Thank you, Martin, for being my right side of my brain, buddy. Anima, thank you for loving me for some weird fucking reason you do.
Yeah, I don't understand it too.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Here you
I don't
go.
get it. Yeah, I could show it if you guys want to, if you want me to show it. Do you want me to show it? Who blocked you?
Do it.
Max?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I was muted.
That's so funny. She mutes herself.
I think this dude though, he's not to go into too many details, but I think he's part of Bot Sentinel, and he was helping Amber Turd out a lot. So he's doing a blockchain on everybody. So I just find it interesting that I've never interacted with him before, and I even got on the block list.
It's amazing.
He must not be using the right one because he didn't block me yet.
You, I guess you're not following the right people, John.
Yeah,
What the fuck, dude?
Gerry, your posts make me want to look into that guy feed, and man, that guy has some serious problems.
So I will share this. No, that's not the one. Where's the one I did?
You can always
there
pull
it
up
is.
my tweet,
Okay,
Gerry.
I found it. Here we go. So share screen. The first one I did was this one. And I wrote, but Magnetex Mags is so awesome, and I tagged him. Why block one of Twitter's great mags? Time and Newsweek have nothing on her. And then I went to his site, which I'll just show you here. You're blocked. and then I was like,
and the thing is, you were able to tag him in your quote tweet, so that means you weren't originally blocked. I don't think, because if you try to tag him,
yeah, that's just it.
Yeah,
that's just it. I wasn't blocked. So I wrote, I was so gentle in my post, almost kind, maybe a little snarky, but I too was blocked.
But he blocked you because you questioned him and he didn't like that.
And then I wrote this. If you like things like he doesn't, he will block you too. Someone help him. Someone please reach out to help him understand it's okay to live in a world of true diversity. And the greatest diversity in his thought is diversity of thought. The greatest diversity is the diversity of thought. I just thought it was so silly. And then I posted this one too. And in those final days, there will be much gnashing of teeth. I just thought that was so silly, the whole blocking thing.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. I mean, it's like once you're put on a list, or if you follow somebody, or tweet out somebody or whatever, like somebody's tweet, it's like you're automatically put on this list where you're a blockchain, and it's like, I don't even know you.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden everybody discovers it. So
thank you, funny. Six. Thank you. That was very kind. Thank you. I will stand up for my friends. I will stand up for every one of you on Twitter. Keith knows, because we were on a stream once and somebody was being rude to him. And I snapped at that dude. I said, why don't you let him fucking finish a sentence, dude? Because the guy did not like what you were saying about Star Wars. And I'm like, dude, make your point after he finishes his statement. Stop interrupting him. I got so angry. I ended up leaving the show early. Remember that? I'm like, I'm out of here. I just cannot deal with stupid people. I can't stand rude, stupid people. So let's see. Hey, I got perma banned from Twitter. I don't doubt it. You're a crusty motherfucker. No. It sucks when you get banned. I think that's ridiculous, dude. I really do. It just fucking pisses me off when people get banned for just speaking their mind. Nate the lawyer crowdfunding is going to sue him. Oh, okay. So
good for him.
Christopher Bowsey is going to get his ass sued. Keith Moncrief says, hang out with me after the show. There will be lots of nudeness.
I was just about to come back on camera.
Oops.
You fucked up.
Well, I'm kind of shocked that I'm not blocked by a lot of these people, because I follow the people that they definitely don't, and they definitely don't want to hear from.
This is important for you.
You need to work harder, John.
Keith, Keith, we need to talk with Monkey Jeebus.
Yes, I need
about
to talk
this.
to him.
All right, so I want to thank everybody for being. Yeah, look, man, I love R&B. I fucking love Robert Meyer Burnett. But I said, man, I have problems with your buddy, and I don't fucking like Campea. I never have. Well, I did like him back when he didn't fucking show his ass in public.
What the hell?
So,
holy.
But is he here? Just in time for outro, because I really got to go.
I am going to add him. Oh well.
But go ahead and add him if you guys
You
want to
gotta go?
continue the show.
Backdoor, you gotta go.
Well,
yeah, I gotta go, buddy. I'm sorry.
I think we're gonna do an after show even after you leave, Gary. So we'll go ahead. And
After he goes to the back door.
Well, I didn't want to come on until Gary was gone. So.
Sliding
and
right.
I'm going to tell you something.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something.
I'm going to tell you something right now, Paulie. Get back on camera. You
I'm eating.
Are one of the.
I'm eating.
You are one of the handsomest guys on all of our shows.
I
you
mean,
really are.
Flattery will get you
But
everywhere.
Two things,
including my back door.
You and Dork Knight have
mustaches,
the prettiest
yes.
mustaches of any of us. I shit you not. You've got the Magnum thing going on right now, brother.
I know. And then he has the fedora. When he adds that, that's fire.
Yeah,
Gary
dude.
is like the Forrest Gump of nerds. Have you noticed that? Any subject, right? Oh, I was there and I know that guy, and I was doing this and that.
But
I
that's
wrote
the weird
Beatles
part of
song.
my life is like, it's weird, that I know
Bad
so many
form,
fucking
me,
people.
sorry.
I got shadow banned a few years back, War Monkey. I don't doubt it because you're a corrosive motherfucker.
What the hell? War Monkey's it's nice.
I
He's a
know.
fine gentleman.
I love these guys.
I know
Anyway,
that, sir.
I got to go. If you guys want to keep going, you can go, and I'll just leave. And
I thought we were just going to do the after show.
if
To
you
make
just
it
want to
more
do the
easier.
after show, that's fine
We'll
too.
just keep
I'll
going.
check this out.
I got some stuff to promote, if that's all right.
Oh, you want to do that
No.
real quick? Yeah, do it. Hold
No,
on,
I'm
let's make
eating.
Okay, I'm going to go.
Oh, and
Martin, you're
where's
in charge.
homeboy at? That wanted to
Who's in charge?
debate me.
Oh, he had to go pick
Chris?
up his kids.
He had to go pick up his kids,
Yeah,
which is
dude. You see how he punked ass
Uh-oh,
out?
Polly's
All right.
creating beef now.
That's a bitch. That's a little bitch move. All right. I love you, backdoor.
I love you too, Paulie.
Sliding
I'm
right
gonna
in
go.
there.
Let you guys finish the episode, and I'm gonna get out of here. And I want everybody to have a wonderful day today. Man, it's Tuesday. Talk about whatever you guys want to. Promote whatever Paulie's doing, and I'm out of here. So fuck off, Gary.
Bye, Gary.
Bye, Gary.
Later, bro.
Bye bye.
Take care.
Bye, boss.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
He still watches. He still watches.
Wait, it's still live.
Yes, it is still
Yeah.
live. So we'll go a little longer. Look,
Okay.
everybody.
What's up, Keith?
Hey, Paulie.
Well-
Nice to have you in, man.
I can't stay that long too because I'm babysitting tonight. So
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm on my lunch break too, so I only have maybe about 10 or 15 more minutes.
yeah.
Well,
Same.
okay, look, then let me just ask both of you. Favorite opening theme songs from any of the TV shows you enjoyed growing up? What was your number one favorite?
Man, SWAT
I know.
SWAT is on the top. I
Oh
would
gosh.
say.
So can animation qualify?
It qualifies.
Well, I guess I have a tie
Okay.
between X-Men animated series and
Okay.
the Batman animated series.
Look right at you, Mags. You
Those
go.
are good ones, man.
Oh,
Those are good
yeah.
ones.
Bi- Bill has a winner here too.
Oh,
Masters of the
yeah.
Universe. Wow. that one.
Yeah, He-Man.
And
Uh-oh.
we have a super sticker here.
Yeah, it's Kitty Bear Stephen Paul with a super sticker. I can't
about-
tell what it is.
What about
It's,
a
uh,
non-animated?
It's a
Mags?
clapper that sits behind the scenes.
Oh, okay.
Mags, what
not-
about non-animated?
Oh, that's not fair.
Uh-oh. Tickle
Airwolf.
Truck. You went right to a tickle. Oh, man. Airwolf.
That's
loves
what I
Air-
was going to say.
That's a good one.
He stole your thought, John.
Yeah, he stole my thought. Get out of my head, Tickle Trunk.
He's always in people's heads. He's scary
Okay.
like that.
Keith, how old are you?
Both.
I just turned 52.
You know what?
Welcome
I
to
remember
52.
52.
You're 52, Dust Wolfen?
Yep.
I am 50.
Turned it this June.
I am 55.
Great. All right.
I'm in my last few couple of weeks of 55. So I will be moving on from that. But it's all good because I got somebody that's going with me onto that next stage. So
I would like to express our gratitude to Kitty Bear with this one.
For that, you get the head, the tail, the whole damn thing.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you very much. Because I was trying to find my way to that, but I don't have control. I have no real control. Oh, there it is.
Okay. I've got a replacement since I can't have Airwolf.
Okay.
Greatest American Hero.
Good
Oh
one.
my God.
Good one. Joey
Well,
Scarsberry.
now that's like kind of a different story because that's like a real single, right?
Actually, that's kind of the way
it wasn't written for the show, was it?
Yeah, it was. That was the
was?
way that they operated for that show. You go out and you get someone to sing the theme song. I think what it was is somebody had written the song, they needed someone to record it. But that's Joey Scarsberry, who had a nice hit with that song.
That's a really good choice.
Yeah.
I guess for me, for my favorite, maybe it's just because I grew up on the reruns and I enjoyed the show so much. So maybe it's just pure nostalgia. But definitely the Knight Rider show. That was my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good
and I
one,
love
yeah.
the car kit.
I mean, all the ones in the chat are popping, except for 6, except for hers. Everyone else is great.
Oh my!
Don't take that, Jay.
She's trying to call me out.
I like both themes from the original Lost in Space.
Me too.
That's old.
Me too. But
Yeah, well-
here's a little something that not a lot of people know about me, though.
Mm.
I am a big fan of the original Magnum PI theme. Not the one that everybody knows.
You mean the first season one?
The first I love that theme. I love
Really?
it. Yes, I love it. I mean, not that I got anything against the second one, because that's the more popular one. That's the one everybody knows.
Right.
The first one I love.
Hold on a second, Keith.
Yeah.
6, promises, baby. Come on up here and shower me with your verbal tongue lashing. Only Sexy 6 and lovely Mags can do that. Yeah. I put on a hat for you, Mags.
I know. I see that. Thank you. I love it.
Carry on,
Looking
Keith.
sexy
Sorry.
there.
That's all right. That's all right, but your hat game is strong, my friend. Your hat.
I know it
so
is.
strong.
You just need to tilt it down just a little bit, and then you got a little. Got to tilt it down a little bit. Here we go.
There we go.
Yes. Oh, I love it.
It's
that's
over.
yes.
It's over.
That's sexy. I'm done.
Well, this is the moment when I get fired from PCM, but I do like the theme from Enterprise.
You do?
The original?
Yeah, I freaking love it.
It's not bad.
It's different.
Yeah.
It is very look. It's not that I hate it. It's different. It is very different. So if you love it, more power to you, my friend. More power to you.
Hey, so we haven't heard from Anima.
Yeah, I know Anima.
I just need to clarify, Martin, which Enterprise do you mean?
The Enterprise television series.
Bakula one. Scott Bakula.
Yeah, Scott
Oh
Bakula.
yeah, I like that too. I like that too. You're not alone.
The first
You're
season.
not, yeah. When they upped it up, it lost something. They shouldn't have done that.
We have Mr. Tickle Truck going. Babylon 5 season 3.
Nice.
Okay, that one is good.
I really feel any super
Agreed.
chats right now should be given to me because I'm a guest. I'm the guest. I extended this show.
Don't get cocky there, Paulie.
We need to get
What do you mean get
to
cocky?
your
What do you mean
Fedora
get cocky, girl? Shoot. This is 24/7.
We need to give it, donate it to your Fedora fund so you can get some more sexy hats.
I'm
not
totally,
being selfish here at all.
totally kidding. Totally kidding.
Okay, and we have
one,
this one.
You're squinting like you need glasses. Well, what do you... Look at me. What? What I'm thinking is, you're mine. I fucking own you. But what I'm not doing is feeling one way or another about it. You see, you're not a person to me. You're an entry in my book. That's all. You're just a guy who owes me money.
Love that line. Love that scene. Love that movie.
That is a good movie.
It's a really good one.
As far as
we
themes
have
go,
another.
it predates
Thank
me.
you, Mr. Tickletrunk.
No,
Yay.
Nuh-uh, you're not doing that. Move over. Get out of my way.
You know what? I think I might have something for that one. Let's see. That would be.
Thank you, Mr. Tickletrunk.
Let's see. Oh, here we go.
I'd buy that for $1.
What was that from again?
That's RoboCop.
RoboCop.
God, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm so old. I remember when that was in theaters.
Yeah.
Hello.
Thank you, Keith.
You're not old, John. You're not old.
I'm only 3 years behind you. Well, 4.
You know what? You and Paulie, you guys really wear your ages well. So, you know.
I'm probably the youngest one on the panel. Oops.
You are.
You sure, Max?
Yes, I'm definitely. Okay. I think I am. I'm the baby.
It's all good. It's all good.
Theme that's predates me, but I saw in reruns. Another theme is the Addams Family.
Well, yeah, that's a good one. I like The Magician. See, I get nothing from any of you guys. The Magician.
No.
Wow.
I don't remember the
selection.
Wow.
Well, who was in that?
That's Bill Bixby.
Yeah.
That's okay. Every little boy of a particular period, you got your people that are fans of The Magician, and then you got everyone else who isn't. But it's about a Vietnam vet who learned how to deal with his trauma, major trauma, by becoming a magician. And rather than have a place to do all his business out of, he lives in a plane, one of those big Russian-style type of troop transports planes that's decked out with an entire apartment, where the lower half of the plane, the backside, has all his vehicles and stuff. I mean, he literally lives out of a plane. And it was one of the coolest things. I mean, the opening theme to that, it was amazing. And it's the reason why Arsenio Hall talked about it on his show. He goes, it's the reason why he took up magic when he was little. I took up magic when I was little because of that show. And he uses he's supposed to be this big headlining magician, but he uses it to solve crimes and mysteries. So it was, oh man, one of my favorite shows.
I vaguely remember the show.
Well, you being as old as you are, I would be very surprised if you did remember the show. So,
well, I mean, I'm sure I've seen it in reruns.
Probably not. I don't know very many people that have actually seen The Magician in reruns because it didn't last that long.
You remember the courtship of Eddie's father?
Oh yeah, that was the show he was coming out of. This was the show he did right after that.
Yeah. So that one, I remember The Magician, but I was more kind of connected to the courtship because of the little kid actor.
Oh yeah. Well, it took me a few years to actually watch the original movie. Because that's actually an adaptation of a movie that had Ron Howard as the little boy in it.
Vaguely remember. God, it's all coming back to me. Like all those Sid and Marty Croft.
Oh yeah,
shows you were playing earlier. Like instant
nostalgia,
flush of memories were coming
back.
Dr. Shrinker.
Do you remember Lost? Do you remember a show called The Highwaymen?
Yes.
The Highwaymen?
It didn't last that long on TV.
No,
but it was good. It was
I
good.
think it was like about eight episodes, maybe,
give or take. But you can still find the theme online, and that was one of those shows that just, whew, I had a lot of fun with it, but too many people didn't like it. Not enough people watched it. I wish they had. Oh, wait. The chat's going on without us.
Yes.
Hold on.
So, hey, everybody, I probably need to jump off because I need to get back into the office, and the car's a little warm right now.
Jump off of what?
Oh, Polly.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
Well, look, ladies, it is always a great time having both of you. You know I think the world of both of you. So thank you, Mag. Thank you, Anima. And you
And
guys.
I still haven't answered the question about the growing up theme song. Because you
avoided
guys didn't let me talk.
Anima, you go ahead. Go ahead.
I didn't grow up with much TV, but when I was like 10 or 11, Enterprise TOS, like the Star Trek, had reruns on Austrian TV, and I was crazy about that show. So I'll go with that one.
See, I knew we had a lot more in common. Come on.
None of you witnessed it. Gerry did, but he's not here anymore. But on the Salty Nerd podcast, they did a trivia on TOS, and I took down every single guy that said, "I'm older than you. There's no way you know more than me." I slayed them. So
okay,
that's my show growing up.
Anima, the champ.
Oh yeah.
I'm the queen actually on that Discord. Alex named me Trivia Queen.
Good. Now this one may be considered cheating because it was not written for the show, but do you want to taste it from Peacemaker?
Oh, of course. That's one of those openers that if you've never seen the show, once you see it, it really, you don't forget it. You do not forget the opening of that show. Oh, wow.
Oh, Sequest was nice too. Okay, I'm out. Bye.
Bye,
Anima.
Bye, Anima. Yeah, I'm out too, y'all. So I
Bye,
do,
Mags.
I do to you and you and you. Do, 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 do. Bye.
Bye. Well,
she's our kind of people. Let's see. Man, wow. Whoa. The chat is just moving. Everybody's digging up all their. Wow. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Star Trek Voyager. Oh, yes, Sequest. I agree with Sequest.
I Dream of Jeannie.
Oh, I Dream of Jeannie.
Remington Steele.
Remington Steele was awesome.
Bewitched.
Bewitched was good. It was really good.
I'm just reading them out of the chat. They're pulling up these great names. 321 Contact.
I love that show.
I love that show.
The Electric Company.
That was good. Miami Vice theme song.
Oh yes, how could we forget? Look who's here!
Hey, you know what? Come on into the show. You should come on in.
This is the before the after show.
Yeah, this is before the after show, Danny. Come on, man. Yeah, we should send him a link. Get him in.
I'm on it.
For he cannot deny us now. He will come on the show. Twilight Zone? Yeah, Twilight Zone had a good theme. But do you remember Night Gallery?
Tales from the Crypt.
That's a good one too. That is a good
Outer
one.
Limits.
Ooh. Hunter was also good. I agree, Bill. Man, Bill, you coming up with it.
Rockford Files.
Now, see, let me tell you something. There was talk of reviving the Rockford Files about 7 years ago. And when I heard who they were thinking about having to be Jim Rockford, I thought to myself, wow. Actually, at first I was kind of surprised, but I got to thinking about it and I thought, wow, that would actually be kind of cool. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Ben Affleck. Let it sit with you for a while. Let it sit. Just let it marinate for a bit.
Yeah, I could go with that.
Yeah. Considering what that show actually is about, I think Ben Affleck would be a very good Jim Rockford.
Rockford File taught me what a J-turn was.
Rockford Files brought the world Tom Selleck.
Yeah.
It is because of the Rockford Files that you eventually got Magnum PI. Let's see. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I remember Bill Barkley. I love Tales of the Gold Monkey.
Right?
I wish they would put it out on like either
It is.
DVD on
It
Blu-ray.
is. It is the complete series is out. You better look it up on Amazon, dude.
No. Gonna have to spend more money.
The Mysterious Cities of Gold. I was just talking about that show the other day. Wow. Nice anime. And I agree. Dragon Bricks, DS9 theme.
Yep.
Very majestic. You know, first of all, that is the first new Star Trek theme in a long time, because Star Trek The Next Generation, you know, they just took the movie theme is all they did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, not that it wasn't a good show or anything, but they kind of skipped a little bit.
Joe's Atmosphere.
Which
one?
one? Yeah, that's a good question. Which one? Both of them are good. Both of them are really good. Battlestar Galactica is one of those shows that you know, you got to be ready. Look, the first one is good. It's a lot of fun to watch. The second one, you got to be ready for, because it's an experience. And I wish.
Danny, I sent you the link.
I wish other TV shows tried to get as involved, especially when you're remaking something or at least doing a different take on something. I wish they would try to be as original as what they ended up doing with Battlestar Galactica. So, yeah.
So, Polly, you had some shows you wanted to promote?
Yeah.
God, it's so noisy over here. The landlord's handyman showed up. That's why I had to go talk to him for a minute. So sorry about that.
That's all right.
All right, let's catch up. What's going on?
Well, we're asking you what shows you want to promote.
Like Cheers, MASH?
No, your personal.
Yeah, you said
you had something to promote.
Oh, I thought we were talking about.
We are, but
yeah, we are.
I segued in to make sure that we got it in before we.
Yeah.
So professional. Shut up. Tomorrow I have a music producer coming on live on the show, and he just produced and they released a new single with this Latino band. It's a cover of a classic song called La Llorona.
Okay.
And it's gonna be for anyone who's a musician, anyone that loves music, it's gonna be a great time, because he's so meticulous about what it takes to make a song. So we're gonna dissect that, and he's got a record label, and he really has some incredible artists. So getting back to those music roots of the slant, and we're gonna go tomorrow at 3 p.m. in the afternoon Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern.
Wow!
So let me get the link.
That's 5 my time.
But what's that?
That's 5 my time.
Oh, you're Central?
Yep.
Yeah. So, and I'm putting it together because also it's a Day of the Dead theme song, and we're going into Halloween and Day of the Dead, and La Llorona is like, one of the kind of scariest kind of myths out there in Mesoamerica. So
Mhm.
it's a great song, man. So cool.
Wow, looking forward to that one.
Thanks, man.
Well, you always have good content.
Oh yeah.
man. I mean,
Well,
you
know,
bring
it's
it
just
every
you,
single
you
time.
bug enough people, then
Not always able to catch it live, but I do enjoy it on the repeats.
Oh, cool. Yeah, thanks, Gospel. Yeah, I see you a lot in the chat, and I see you on here. You're one of the best things about this.
I don't know about all that, but
no, you took over that one
Hey.
that one day.
Wow,
Yeah.
I'm still sending you the link to our private conversation, Danny. Someone can send him the link because mine he's not getting it.
Okay, hold on. I'll see if I can do it. Let's see.
I just put the link in the chat for you guys, because I guess I didn't know I was a mod, so I put that there. And as you know, guys, YouTube doesn't help us out, so make sure you hit the alert and of all your favorite channels, actually.
Yep.
Man.
Yeah, my alerts are rather full.
You have full alerts?
Yep.
Well, look, let me just say that John has some skills. You know, he could easily end up doing his own thing and having his own very successful show. Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, Danny.
Hey, Danny.
You looking for trouble? Came to the right place. Dude, I'm sorry. I know I talked about it the other day, but I cannot get enough of that Elvis movie. Oh
I
my
know,
God.
right?
It is so good. I've probably watched it like 4 times already.
Right? And look, the thing about it is Tom Hanks, I mean, I've seen him play all kinds of roles, but I've never seen him in a role where I actually hated him. I mean,
I know, dude. I've been saying the same thing. I've never hated Tom Hanks in my life. I fucking hated him in this movie. Like, I hated him. Despicable human, but he did it so well, you know?
Yeah, that is just a great movie. And and again, you can see why I was telling in the movie theater, the sound of that movie,
man, so
was amazing.
I saw it on HBO Max, and I've been searching to try to watch it. It's not in the theaters in Vegas anymore. That sucks. Like, it's Vegas.
Dude.
It should totally still be in theaters in Vegas.
Yeah, I wonder if it's still in the theater here now.
So mad.
Look. It'll definitely be in once the Academy Award nominations come out. Because
Yeah,
no doubt
they're going to do I really do think that movie's going to win Best Makeup. It's going to win Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor. So it's going to get a re-release in theaters.
Well,
you know?
look. I can't go that far. I know I wanted to win, but I really can't go that far yet because we haven't reached that point yet.
Dude, the
I
makeup at the very
I know.
least, it's going to win Best Makeup. I mean, Tom Hanks is unrecognizable. Like, they made him look amazing in that movie.
Yeah.
Well, what else is out there that has great makeup?
You know, fellow fat man speaking, like that was some real looking fat man stuff.
Well, that's a good question from Paulie. What else has been released this year that actually has good makeup? You know, I think we had man, everything I'm coming up with in my mind was from last year.
I guess I'm going to have to break down and actually watch that movie.
John, I don't mean to put any pressure
Whoa.
on you,
You have John, you haven't seen it yet?
No, I don't like Elvis.
I mean, look, here's what happened to me, and I said this the other day. I'm not an Elvis fan either. My son, who's 24, who I never get to see, came over to my house on my birthday. So he was like, Dad, I didn't get you anything for your birthday. And I was like, oh, that's okay, buddy. You're here. Your presence is present enough. He's like, look, here's what I'm going to do for your birthday. You have to watch the Elvis movie with me. And I was like, what? That's not like, no, man, that's not a present. He's like, trust me. And oh my God, I can't get enough of this movie. I highly recommend everyone on planet Earth see this movie. It is so good. And I don't like Baz Luhrmann. I said this the other day too. I do not like Baz Luhrmann's style, but it is perfect for Elvis. It is perfect for Elvis. So highly recommend it.
All right, well, I'll give it a watch. It's just too many people recommending it.
It's on HBO Max, man.
Are we not the only ones telling you to watch it, man?
Yeah, I'm gonna see it on HBO Max. I just saw it's there.
My sister raves about it, but she's an Elvis fan, so I just put it off as she's an Elvis fan. So
well, okay, you know what? For me, again, I want to try to be fair about this. My great grandmother was one of the biggest Elvis fans ever, and every time I went to go visit her, it always seemed to be on the television. But as I got older, I would learn things about him, and I'd hear the music, and some of it was cool, you know. And I thought I knew a lot about his life, but this movie schooled me on a few things that I didn't know, and it's those particular.
Well, it is a movie, man. So like, I don't know how much of that is real because I've gone down the rabbit hole. And there are conflicting stories. So like B.B. King, the man himself, has said that him and Elvis were friends, but a bunch of other people are saying, no, they weren't that close. So it's really weird, you know, like,
you
I
know
don't
what?
know. Like,
here's the way I judge that. If B.B. King says that they were friends, they were friends. I know that there are some people that want to try to contradict them, but only one person knows your life, and that's you. And if that's what you say it is, then that's what it is. Because look at it this way. What does he get from lying? I mean, really,
right?
From lying, what does he gain from that? I mean, the man, Elvis, has been dead now over 40 years.
Well, not only that, but like Elvis gets a lot of heat. Like I got into a online argument. So I'm a big fan of Double Toasted. I don't know if you're familiar with that channel.
Okay.
And they were very harsh to Elvis. Like say he said he was a racist and a cultural appropriate what's the word?
Appropriator. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard it.
And dude, as someone, and I think I've talked about this before, as someone who grew up in the ghettos of Greensboro, North Carolina, in a predominantly black community, I got accused a lot of, because most of my friends were, you know, like that's just how it is when you grow up in a black community. And I got accused of that shit a lot too, and it infuriated me. So it really struck me on a personal note when they were being like that. After watching the movie, but then like somebody else brought up, well, it's a movie, like you don't know if it's true. So that's why I went down the rabbit hole to, you know, and it seems like it, like Baz Luhrmann did his research. It seemed like it was true to real life.
This is a movie that he's been wanting to make for a long time. He waited to make this. So look, I get it. If you're not an Elvis fan, that's fine. All I know is this. If you're someone that does not understand what it was like to grow up in the 1930s, 1940s, in the area where Elvis was at the time period when he was a little boy, and what it meant to actually live with people of color, what it meant for someone who was white to do that, you really then do not know, because you were looked down upon about as much as any person of color was. Sometimes even more.
I don't even think you have to go that far back, dude, because, you know, I was a kid of the 80s.
Yes, I know.
Yeah,
I mean,
Keith, well, finish that up, because that's a good point.
Well, you know, especially in the South, everybody knows, or at least can understand, how bad it was to be a black man or black woman. Okay, if you live on the wrong side of the tracks, anyone else that just happened to be there, even to appreciate black culture, was looked down upon. So if that's all you had, though, I don't understand what a lot of the hate was. I mean, I can understand in so much as the fact that some of the things he gets accused of were things that he didn't even really come up with. And what I mean is that whole King of Rock thing. He didn't do that. That was not him.
Yeah, that was Colonel Parker. And
Yeah,
I saw a real life interview where he had I forget the guy's name. I'm so sorry. He brought another performer up with him in an interview.
Before you chomp off on that, I want to talk about cultural appropriation because I said he was.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
We all are.
Yes.
Big fucking deal. Keep appropriating everyone's culture. That's what that I mean, I'm sorry, but Black people created modern time in music. There's it's wonderful. Okay,
dude, there is no Elvis.
No. Let me just finish, bro. Let me just finish.
Yeah, sorry.
You know, with modern time that started with Louis Armstrong and then Bix. I forgot his last name. He was a white guy. He was a saxophone player, whatever.
Bix.
You know what I'm talking about.
Bix.
You know what I'm talking about.
Breidebeck.
They couldn't play together in a fucking theater.
Mm-hmm.
But they would play together like after hours. I wanted to be part of those after hours. I guess what I'm saying is that we've been doing it for, and keep doing it. It's so, and the people that, that's cultural appropriation, that's colonial, whatever, shut the fuck up. Right? We got to keep sharing our culture there, whether it's nerd culture, or a song in Spanish or what Elvis accomplished, it was a different time. It was a different time back then as well.
Yeah.
They just didn't not only did they didn't let Black people on camera like that, or they didn't want Elvis to be moving his fucking hips.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my little
No. Paulie, you are right. Look, Elvis even said, there are people that he admired, performers that he liked, and he took things from them. He'd take moves, he'd take the way he sang a song, I remember hearing about a lot of British acts would take things from a lot of blues performers. You never hear anybody saying anything about the Rolling Stones or the Beatles. Even though they admired a lot of American acts, they love the acts of color, especially the Black acts. Elvis gets hate because he was one of the first out there, and he helped to introduce a lot of music and a lot of musicians to white America. So in that respect, he's the one that actually hold on, what was that again? Oh, magic. Okay, Mags, everything is a paradigm shift upon something else, a continuous building from one to another. You are right. Because that's how everything moves forward. That's really how everything moves forward. We move forward by sharing with one another. Because that gets the best ideas.
Before Louis Armstrong, white people were just, music was la 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 la. And then he blew it up. Before Elvis, no white dude was singing like that. You got to respect that. I mean, it's wonderful. It's art, man. It's art.
If it wasn't for the blues, wouldn't have rock and roll and Led Zeppelin. If it wasn't for Led Zeppelin, we wouldn't have bands like Metallica or any of the stuff I like.
Yeah, well, but it wasn't just the fact that he was just doing it.
You're right.
Let me also say this: a lot of people who did eventually appropriate Black culture miss some of the other final details. The difference between what Elvis did and what a lot of people that eventually followed him missed out on was the additional portion of being a churchgoer and going to church and understanding how that played into music. A lot of people miss that part because for a lot of performers, especially the originators of rock and roll, they took a lot of what they did, not just from the blues, but from church.
Yeah, you're right on the money, as far as with gospel, and then just on how they riffed off of choruses in church. And the only reason why I know that is I went to a Baptist church for a few years while I was living in Texas. That was one of the highlights. It was how they took a song. I mean, I love the pastors, but how they took a song and then in these. And then the bands, the live church bands, are just like, God, these guys would kill any modern music band right now.
And you can see why Elvis built his band the way that he did.
Absolutely.
Why when he went to Vegas, with everything that he did, and so for me, yeah, he took some cues here and there. He borrowed a lot of songs from a lot of.
Can we go back to that tent thing? So that tent thing is very ancient for all kind of societies.
Yes,
which I think is wonderful because, so this is a part of American history that really goes not talked about, is the kind of since the 1850s was the tent musical acts in Spanish. That would travel with the migrant workers, and they called it La Carpa, and La Carpa was everything from music, carnivals.
Wait, slow it up for a moment. Pronounce that again.
La Carpa.
La Carpa.
CARPA. La Carpa.
La Carpa. Wow.
And so eventually, in the 18th century, and then that tent show just of performances, and this is all in Spanish, and it's all in the United States, would migrate to Los Angeles Broadway, and that Broadway vaudeville of the early teens and 20s was booming, and it had all the vaudeville shows, and you had the first Spanish radio show as well. So this is in America, which is amazing. And I don't know if you guys knew any of that, what I just told you.
No, I did not know any of that. I'm soaking it all in, man.
Yeah, and that's like, and there's no slight. It's not a slight. It's just like, that's why there's so many beautiful stories in this country, like the genesis of Elvis's, spark of music and singing. That's beautiful.
That's why I like listening to you, Paulie. I always learn something new.
Right. It's educational.
Well, it's something I'm passionate about, right? So that's where you got to start off with, which you guys are very passionate about stuff. So.
Well, look, John is just, he's an amazing dude. He knows a lot. I've known him for quite a long time. And so it only seems right that having him here, having you here, give me an opportunity to learn from both you guys. It's.
I told you, John, you did a fine job of stepping in when Gerry when the back door was closed.
Look, John, I'm telling you, man, you've got some talent with this stuff. You could easily host your own show, easily. So I still got to work out a few bugs. So.
I need to see the Elvis movie for sure. I can't believe that we haven't seen it yet, especially with Boz, because Boz is such a creative visionary with his work.
I will say this: there were a few things in the film that I did not know, and number one was being where the Colonel came from. I didn't realize that there wasn't that much as far as his past was concerned, and that nobody knew that much about him. But that would go a long way to explaining one of the biggest mysteries about Elvis being as big of an act as he was, which is why he never went outside the United States. And for those of you who haven't seen the movie, you need to understand that part of it, because
the Colonel couldn't.
That's right. Well, that he was afraid. He was afraid that if Elvis were to go outside the United States, he'd figure out what everybody else was doing, first of all. Second of all, how everybody else was making money, because Elvis wasn't really, he was making a lot of money. I don't think he was seeing a lot of that money, And then he'd probably be tempted by someone who actually did know something to go with someone else, which would have robbed the colonel of his golden goose. You know, I can't think of anybody that actually happens to be a fan of the colonel. I still can't understand why the colonel never left the United States, because everybody else was. I can't think of an act after Elvis that didn't travel the world.
Yeah.
You know, just think of how much more he could have done had he been able to leave the United States outside of just serving in the military and going to Germany. Had he been able to travel the world and to show the world what he could do, you know, that's one of those great tragedies, realistically, because when you think about it, Elvis really was, for the 50s, what Frank Sinatra was to everybody in the late 30s and into the 40s. You know, Sinatra really was the first quote unquote teen idol.
Yeah.
And Sinatra had a way of working. I think Elvis was capable of that exact same thing. Unfortunately, he had someone who was also truly calling the shots behind the scenes. Whereas Sinatra, I think if Sinatra and Elvis had been able to hang out for any extended time together, I think Sinatra would have set them straight.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he would have.
And Sinatra had an extremely lengthy career.
Oh God! He had an ear. He was the kind of guy who you did not want to mess up for. Whenever you would record, you want to be on it with Sinatra because he could hear it when someone was off. You know, and again, you know, I don't get into a lot of people's personal lives. I just can enjoy someone for what they're able to bring musically. And you have to respect at least what Sinatra was able to accomplish musically and how that led us to someone like an Elvis in the sense of, you know, preparing everyone for something or someone like Elvis. Elvis was just unique.
You've got to be able to separate the art from the artist.
Yeah, because not every person who's famous is someone that you might want to hang out with. You know, that's the unfortunate thing about it. No matter how much Hollywood or the entertainment industry may want to promote someone, that's just it. Many times it's just that. It's just promotion. It's not who they are. And that's both a good and a bad thing. You know, I personally can't even fathom having to hide your life from the general public. But then again, you don't know what kind of crazy people are out there, you know?
Yeah.
No, I just really, getting back to the Elvis film, I appreciate good filmmaking. I appreciate Baz Luhrmann and what he has done.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about with whether you like those films or not. You know, he takes such risks with his vision. It's like I respect that, and that's what I kind of meant with Homeboy and Zack Snyder.
Yeah,
because I feel this very same way about Snyder. I might not like all his films, but that guy, he takes risks. And sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. And I think just to call him trash, it's like, yo, we need to talk. You know, that's a creative director, and you know, he's loved by, he has a following like no other.
Yeah.
Well, same thing with Nolan. You know,
I believe that Snyder really is a fan of a sorts. I do believe he's a nerd underneath all of that, because that's the only way I can actually explain why he is able to do such deep dives into some of the characters that he's done. Look, I don't know of anybody in Hollywood at the time before he did it that understood what Watchmen really was. I mean, when you really think about it, not many people in the business would have tackled that film. You know, why would you want to make something like that? Because at the time when Watchmen came out, I mean, superhero films had only come so far. You know,
and not only that, not only tackle it, but actually try and do the comic justice.
And be only the second person I know of in the history of Hollywood that just sort of tried to translate something directly, because Rosemary's Baby was actually the first film to do something like that, and that was only because the director had never adapted anything before. So he actually thought that to adapt something meant that you did a literal adaptation of a book. So he, Stephen King talks about that in his book Dance Macabre, which is something you should read if you've never read that before. But hold on. We have $5 super chat. Man, what is this? Elvis is a great film. I always thought he was doing kung fu moves on stage. Never realized till I saw I'm assuming film, he was conducting his orchestra. Yeah, he had a different way of doing things, you know.
He took his karate seriously.
Oh, he did. You know what? Thank you for that $5. And for that, let's do something extra special. Let's see. Let me see if I can give you something. Okay. Uh-oh.
How about a little Real Genius?
Do it.
I don't have access to it.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Because these are not exactly... Oh, man. Yeah, I need time to...
If you think that by threatening me you can get me to be your slave, well, that's where you're right. And I'm only saying this because I care. There are a lot of decaffeinated brands on the market today that are just as tasty as the real thing.
Thank you.
I love that scene.
But again, it's... Oh, man, I lost my train of thought there. For Zack Snyder, I think to watch what he was able to accomplish with something like Watchmen, and then he turns around, he does Man of Steel, which again was not something that he wrote. Other people wrote it. All he did was make it. And then you go to something like Batman v Superman. And when you look at what he was able to accomplish with that film, especially with all of the Batman stuff that he has in there, he's not just pulling stuff from the video games. He's pulling stuff from the comics. He's pulling stuff from some of the Saturday morning stuff. He's pulling it from everywhere. You have to be a fan to be able to pull stuff from everywhere. Okay.
Well, you look at the breadth of his work, right, so far, and he's just he's like got another like career
you guys
going
talk,
on.
I'm so sorry, man. My internet went out. Like, what are you guys talking about?
Zack Snyder.
So,
okay, sorry.
One of my favorite Snyders is Dawn of the Dead. I mean, I loved his remake of that.
Yes.
I mean, what a cast. And the pacing, the quality too, because before then it was just Romero, and then it got real kind of like cheesy, with some of the zombie films. I mean, Return of the Living Dead was like 80s punk cool, but yeah, I think there's a Snyder movie, at least one, that everyone on this panel loves. Fight Me.
I have to.
I mean, I have, I have at least three that I can think of off the top of my head. So Watchmen,
That's nice.
300.
300.
300. Yep.
Yeah. So shit, that's 4. So yeah,
No, what are your
Watchmen.
3? What are you, that wasn't in your 3. What was in your 3?
It was Watchmen, the one with all the chicks, Punch something or other.
Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch. I actually liked that movie a lot. A lot of people didn't.
A lot of people do.
And the Justice League, the Zack Snyder version. I love that. It's 4 hours, but I've watched it like at least 4 or 5 times.
Keith, people are in love with R&B, Mexican Iron Man. It is to them, it is gospel, that 4 hours.
Yeah.
I can't explain it. I mean, actually, I can. No. I can't explain it. I love the movie. I don't know what to say other than the fact that I love the movie. Because
hey, War Monkey, man.
No. Well, hold on. But look what he said before. He loved Day of the Dead remake. That just proves my point.
Yeah.
Is Zack Snyder's a fucking visionary with his work. Sometimes it's not for every movie is not for everyone. But War Monkey just said his best and his worst, and that's all right.
Yeah.
Who else do you say? What other directors do you say that about?
That's right.
That's all I'm saying.
I think he is a nerd. I think he's a dork for this stuff.
Keith, I think. Okay, I'm not arguing with you, but unless you're a documentarian and you come from that, or you're an activist that comes from a documentarian, most directors are nerds.
True.
They really are.
True.
They really are. They really are.
I just mean that compared to a lot of other people who have attempted certain types of films, especially superhero movies.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Not every director is a fan of it. They are fans of what they do. You're
talking about fans of comic books and stuff.
Yeah, they are fan up to a point. To have done the kind of research that he did to do a lot of this stuff, you do have to be a fan. And that doesn't necessarily mean he's the greatest fan of all time. I'm just saying some of the deep stuff that he put in his movies with these characters is not some random stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He likes it all. It would have been, for some people, you can tell that they pay attention to a certain version of the character, either just from the comics or if they know something just from the cartoons. When you mix it all together, that's someone who is a deep, deep fan of that particular character in all media that they have been presented. And to me, that's really what it takes. That's not the only method, but that's the one that I prefer.
Look at the dude that directed Superman. You know what I mean? Like the original,
Donner?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean
Richard Donner. Yeah.
Yeah. Donner. Okay. The thing with
he
Donner
even wrote some comics. Like he's like.
Well, that was years later. The thing about Donner, though, is that Donner was mainly a fan of the original movies and of the television series because he grew up with George Reeves as his Superman. That was his Superman. But he also was a fan of the movies, which is the reason why he had the original first Superman in his film. That's him in the movie.
So 2 things with that. Different breed of directors.
Yes.
Like you could argue the greatest generation of directors. There hasn't been one since.
Mm-hmm.
You're absolutely right, Dork Knight. But also Mario Puzo co-wrote. He did write the screenplay. So you're talking about an auteur who wrote this. I mean, man,
he wrote the actual story outline, but it was rewritten by
the dialogue.
The whole thing was rewritten by Tom Mankiewicz.
Oh,
have you guys seen the? Have you guys seen the? Have you guys seen the Superman 2 Richard Donner cut?
Yes, love it.
Oh yeah, no, okay, cool. All right, I have that on.
I can't watch the other version anymore. I cannot watch the other version anymore. I love Donner's version of it. I wish somebody would digitally help him complete it, because with our current technology, I believe we can do that. You can make that movie fit the way it should.
I just can't believe that he shot basically. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he shot both of them at the same time, basically.
No,
right?
It makes sense. It makes sense because they were going to. If you know what Donner did in making Superman 2, you know that in his version of Superman 2, at the end of the movie, they destroy the Fortress of Solitude.
Was it Zach who wanted to use the Superman music?
Yeah, he wanted to use it, and Warner Brothers stopped him.
I just like directors that claim their. I just like directors that claim they're a fan of something, and then when their product comes out, it's obvious that they're not. Take the Batman, for example.
Well,
he swore up and down he was a huge fan, but
yeah, I've mentioned that before. Look, I get the fact that anyone can see something as an opportunity to move forward. I also really respect the fact if you can at least be honest enough to say, I admire what this character is. I'm going to try to learn all I can and give you my version of the character. Instead, you go out and you say, I'm the biggest fan and blah, blah, blah. And then you make a big deal out of stopping production for almost a year to rewrite a script that, from all I heard, was amazing, to then do what he did. And then with COVID and everything else, that also delayed production. But then to come out with the movie that he came out with and try to pass it off as like, oh, this is the end result of everything I was doing and being a big Batman fan. And
I'm a huge Batman fan, and I'm a even bigger Michael Keaton Batman fan because of my age, probably. But like, come on, guys, Tim Burton didn't know fuck all about Batman.
No, he didn't.
Come on.
No, and that's one of the things that I at least can say, at least with Tim Burton, he never tried to make himself sound like he was the biggest Batman fan. He admired what the character was, and given his personality and his proclivity in films and the characters that he's drawn to, he did an interpretation based on everything that he likes. And that's fine. I got no problem with that. I have a problem with the studio wanting to micromanage a lot of the stuff that came after, and it became very obvious. Although, to be fair, Joel Schumacher, I think, was a little more of a fan than he let on. I now understand that there is something to the way that he did his movies, from Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
I think he was a fan of like the Adam West series. I don't think he was a fan of the comics, man. I mean,
that's obvious with Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin is really, though, dedicated. And let me back up for a moment. Let me just say,
if I could say something real quick.
Yeah.
So I think there's so many factors, right?
Mm-hmm.
That the director could be like a real fan, but then he, all right, he's got to work with the studio. Who's the studio? Who's his boss? How much final say does he really have, or she, or whatever? Because that's a huge factor, and then at some point they'll wash their hands as well. It's like, I did my best. I am a fan. I just did my best. It's not what I was happy with. Which I'll open up another can of worms with Coogler.
Yeah.
I want to know how much of, I want to know if Ryan Coogler has had what his vision is with this. I find so problematic coming out. I'm going to see it, but I wanted to get your all's opinion. Do you think Coogler or any of these, these directors really have a lot of artistic, final say?
I don't think they do anymore.
I think because they're dealing with Kevin Feige and the way that he likes to do things. I think if Ryan Coogler had a free hand, I think there are certain things that he probably would have done. But also, you have to combine that, though, with the thoughts and feelings of the actors and actresses that he was going to be working with. And I think everyone just collectively thought that it would have been much easier to end up doing at least with not bringing T'Challa back, with not casting anyone else, that it was just going to be easier for them to get through the making of the film.
I just actually just read an article the other day about that, where Kevin Feige is still saying it's too soon to recast Black Panther. I actually honestly think that was a mistake. I don't think, like, you know. But
well, a lot of us who are big fans of the comic know why it's a mistake, and I totally get where they're coming from. I mean, everybody that knew Chadwick Boseman, you are personally affected, compromised. You can't be expected to do your best work, and let alone think about how it would be for any actor to try to step into that part after. I get it. But here's the thing. The character already has a lot of stuff built into it to make recasting easier. Okay? I'm not trying to be heartless or anything. I totally get it, but I think you should at least postpone it or find a way of putting it off rather than just killing him. I think you could have figured out a way of just putting the whole thing off and recasting down the road, you know?
So I have a question totally unrelated to this.
Yeah.
This is how I got into the stream today.
Yeah.
It's morning coffee with Gerry. Where the hell is Gerry? Like, I've been trying to get up with him.
I said I wouldn't come on this panel if Gerry or any of his backdoor facilities were on the panel.
Oh, so it's your fault, Pauline. All right.
No, you should be thanking me, as everyone in the chat has been thanking me, and I've been making you guys money. So, you know,
thank you.
this.
Well, I mean, you're making Gerry money. You're not making, but it's cool.
Oh, fuck, you're right. I need to rethink my tactics.
Look, it is.
Love you, Gerry. Love you, man. Love you.
You know, you know, I think ultimately, you know, Paula, you're right. Every director is a geek, a nerd. I just believe that every director should be allowed their own vision. My only thing is that if you're going to have your own vision, admit to it. Don't just try to make it seem like, you know, we're giving you fans exactly what you want. You know, stand up, embrace what you've done, and just say, you know what? I'm not the world's biggest fan of X, Y, and Z over here. I went out. I found a story that I'd like to do. I learned as much as I could about the character and used what I wanted to tell this story. I would appreciate if you give me an opportunity of entertaining you who are big fans of this.
And what you just said to me in my brain, you were just preaching Tim Burton. You know what I mean? Because like Tim Burton, he was like, no, I'm not gonna because oh my God, can you guys imagine if the internet existed when Michael Keaton was cast as Batman? Are you kidding me?
Well, but then again, if it had, it wouldn't have just been bad for him. It would have brought up some bad things, even for Adam West because that interview he gave in Rolling Stone was not flattering at all. I mean, I don't know.
Well, he was bitter. He wanted to be Batman. He was pissed because he wasn't cast. You know,
I know, and that's fine. You know, I get that, but here's, you know, the thing is that you have to also understand. I mean, if you're going to talk about the character of Batman and bitter, you know, nobody is as bitter as the two guys who were Batman before him, who nobody seems to remember their names, even though one of them is the dad of the main producer of the Bond movies. You know, so in the end, you can only go so far with this, and it is generational, you know. But I will say this, though, I don't hate anybody that has played any of the previous versions of the character. I love Adam West. I grew up with Adam West. I will say this, though, I was one of the first kids to jump off of the Adam West bandwagon as soon as I got into the comics.
Dude, I have there are two animated movies they made that were like supposed to be continuations, and I have them both at home on DVD, and I love them. You know, like I'm like Adam West was a great Batman. He was just a different kind of Batman.
Yeah, he was just a different kind of Batman, and his Batman was informed, entirely informed by the comics from the 1950s, which is where the television show came from. And so when we get to the film Batman and Robin, that film is really a testament to the comics of the 1950s. That's really, I think, what the whole purpose of that movie was. And because it
was rusted metal Batman,
because of that, and because of the fact that the television series was created out of the comics of the 1950s, that's the reason why that entire film seems like it's a riff on the television series, when in actuality it's more of a riff on the comics of the 1950s. And we lost Danny. Okay, that's fine. He'll be back. That's technology. But
just like a bad penny.
But no, it's anyone can interpret anything. You know, my only thing is be honest about what you're able to do and how you've done it. That's it. Just be honest. So one thing I can definitely say about J.J. Abrams, when he was working on Star Trek, he at least was honest. You know, hey, I didn't grow up a Star Trek fan. I was more of a Star Wars fan. You know.
Yeah.
But I think that's what we are. That's where we are right now with comics and adaptations. I'm hoping that we evolve beyond this, because I still think there are some comics that I would love to see adapted that so far nobody's talking about. I'd like to see a lot more of that's all right, big man. It's all right. I would like to see a lot more of the Image stuff adapted. I would love to see not only a new version of Spawn, but I'd like to see Wildcats. I'd love to see a live action Wildcats. How about you, John? I mean, is there anything that you would like to see?
Well, you know me, I'm going to go back and I want to see the Charlton stuff.
Ooh, good one.
You know, Captain Atom, Nightshade.
Yeah.
The best Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, it's just that's what I grew up reading. I mean, I grew up reading those Charlton comics. I love them.
Me too. I love the Charlton comics. I think there's a lot that can be gained from people actually picking up some of that stuff and respecting at least what Charlton was able to bring to the table before DC bought them.
Yeah.
You know? I would love. Oh, wait a minute. Joe says, my wife's favorite Batman is Val Kilmer to this day because of Batman Forever. Hey, Val did a good job. He did a good job of what he was given.
He did better than Clooney.
I don't. You know what? Here's my controversial statement. I liked Clooney. I did. I thought Clooney made a fantastic Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, he just wasn't a good Batman.
Well, he was the precursor to the Batman who laughs, because he's the Batman who smiles.
Again, but that's all a part of what the Batman comics in the 1950s were like. I keep telling people, if you want to understand where the movie Batman and Robin came from and why the Batman television series was the way that it was, you read the Batman comics of the 1950s, because he does all that. So,
Hey, real quick, Joe, and at Joe's Atmosphere, Blue Beetle's done. Blue Beetle is wrapped.
Cool.
Been wrapped.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let me at least also I want to handle one last bit of business if we're gonna branch off with Blue Beetle, because I want to.
I'm done.
I want to put the nail right in this whole Batgirl thing. Here's one more thing for those people who are still hammering me about that, which is this. Now that we have a better understanding of Warner Brothers' finances, the fact that they were having a lot of money problems, Batgirl is a spinoff of a movie that none of us have seen. Nobody here has seen The Flash. In order to understand the Batgirl movie, you've got to watch the movie The Flash. Well, The Flash isn't done yet. So we have no idea how that character fits within the story, if that character is actually going to make it into the final version of the movie. So you have a studio that wasn't doing so well financially, to the point where the new person taking over is coming in saying they need to cut $3 billion to be able to make their bills. That means over the course of the previous year, you knew what you were going into, and you went ahead and tried to make that movie. So you went ahead and spent $90 million that technically you didn't need to. For what? Seriously, for what?
For something that'll never see the light of day.
That's right. Well, I mean, initially, though, you had the Flash movie, and you started, you thought you had something, but you went ahead and started production on that for something that was not going to wind up in theaters here in the United States, and spent $90 million. But nobody had seen the Flash. So obviously we didn't know if this character, if that iteration was actually going to be any good. And it looks like you're going to have at least a lot more with Supergirl, which was to be the next movie after. But what I'm railing against is it's kind of wasteful not to get an audience reaction to that character before you spend that money.
Yeah.
So you went ahead and just blew $90 million like it was nothing. Well, no wonder a lot of you guys ended up losing your jobs. If you can't at least wait to see how the public responds to that character. Because none of us know at this point.
And less than 30 days till the last one goes.
Yeah, less than 30 days till the last one's out. Walter Hamada, in my opinion, deserves to stay on my S list because he had every opportunity in the world to make a static movie. If he was wanting to do something with people of color, he could have easily have released a static film. Okay? And if you're a fan of Batman Beyond, supposedly it is said by certain Hamada defenders that he was a big comic book fan. Obviously, he wasn't that big of a comic book or at least Batman fan, because he was the one that turned down making a Batman Beyond movie because he thought nobody would get into that. I'm telling you, the guy was not as with it as many of you want to defend him to be. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm not saying he's evil or anything, but he made a lot of very curious mistakes that I think if he were really wanting to do something, he could have easily have greenlit working with Milestone and developing the Milestone universe in conjunction with the DC universe, because that fell under his purview to do that.
We could have had Icon and Rocket.
And we could have had Icon, we could have had Rocket, we could have had Static, we could have had all of that.
Blood Syndicate series.
Because especially since they weren't going to make Cyborg as a movie, he could have turned right around and just made a static movie, and he never did. And to this day, he's never really answered that question. It's gone unanswered. Because that's what I would ask him directly to his face. Why didn't you do that?
It shows they don't care about real diversity. They just want their bonus points.
Well, he was just spending money to spend money. And that to me is the evil part of all this. If you're just spending money to spend money and you're willing to spend your company into oblivion, first of all, it makes you a bad employee.
Yeah.
And second of all, you're trying to hide behind hiring people of color in certain positions instead of working with an entire company of people of color who are creating original stuff that you could have adapted. and you chose not to. These are choices. It's like I told my kids when they were growing up. Life is filled with choices. You got to make some. You're going to make some good ones. You're going to make some bad ones. But you got to be prepared for the consequences of both. And it doesn't sound like to me that he was really thinking like that. He was just making to make. And that's fine. He made his choice. But you spent $90 million. Oh, my goodness.
Keith,
$90 million.
look at this question from the Dark Knight.
Under new you know what? Let me ask this. How many people out there, because that's a good question, Danny. How many people out there who enjoyed the Snyder cut of Justice League would like to see a Cyborg movie after seeing that film?
Yeah.
That's the difference. Now that you've seen how Zack Snyder used that character, you could actually see a Cyborg movie. That's the way it should be done. The movie comes out, everybody enjoys the character. You can now start, because you can actually see a Flash movie, a Cyborg movie, Aquaman, Wonder. You can see all these characters getting their own films after that. Okay? That's what I don't get. Why would you do that for a character that okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like Walter Amada is ever really going to respond to me. But I'm not trying to just come down on the dude. I would really like to know from a business standpoint what he was thinking. Because it makes no sense. So, and what is Joe says, Warner needs to polish The Last of Us and cater to the fans. That game is still in my top 5. You know what? It is a good game. But a lot of that is also about Naughty Dog and what they want to do. You know, they have their own internal issues. Warner can make whatever movies and television, whatever. And in this case, with the television series, I'm thinking they're going to probably pay more attention to what they would like to do with it rather than just to the Naughty Dog people, because they have a lot of issues going on in that company. They need to work some of that stuff out.
Well, there's a reason why 2 wasn't as big of a game. And that's because they let their personal politics get involved and ruin a good story.
They need to work that issue out. So
that and very bad narrative techniques.
Yeah.
Yes. Look, in the end, you got to make a choice. In the end, you've got to make a choice. You can have whatever personal points of view you want. Okay. But again, that means you're making a choice, especially financially. So you're going to have to live with that choice once you spend a year or so of your life working on something, whether it be a game, a movie, a television series. You got to make a choice. But you also have to live with those choices once it's out there for the public to see. You know, that's the thing that Amazon needs to understand about the Lord of the Rings. I really could care less, but if the public is rejecting what you've made, you have 2 choices. You can either not make any more, or you can do a hard behind-the-scenes reset and start firing fools, because those showrunners are bad.
Yep.
Look. I'm not going to make any judgments on any of the actors. All I'm going to say is those Rings of Power showrunners are not good. For all the money I feel bad, and it's not even my money. Okay? If I were Jeff Bezos, I would walk on that set and just go, "Hey man, let's have a discussion." And I just asked both these guys. It's like, look, obviously you guys watch the dailies because you're the showrunners. What part of what we've seen up to this point seems good to you? Because if you can explain it to me.
Hey, I gotta bounce. Sorry, man.
Oh, I am
put
sorry.
it in the private chat.
Yeah. Look, I am so happy you spent time with us. Okay. So thank you.
Take care, Polly.
You are welcome back anytime, man. Anytime.
Bye, Polly.
Have a great rest of your day, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. See you soon.
Okay.
Right.
Peace.
Bye.
Peace.
Yeah, I need to wrap it up too. My
Yeah,
bad.
well, let me just go ahead and wrap it up. But the last thing I would say is if these guys could explain to me why everything up to now, why they, what they thought about it was any good, if they can convince me, I'd let them stay for season 2. If not, they got to go. So, but listen, that is the last of me in that soapbox.
Well, man,
So-
I just gotta say this. I need the power of the rank to work out, because if that is true, that if that fails, we lost the studios, I will have not Invincible season 2, and that is unbearable.
I think there will be an Invincible season 2. I don't think. Look, Jeff Bezos in the end likes making money because that's how he got it all. But if you don't like making money, then you keep going with someone who's gonna not respect the fact that you have money. I mean, you're
Is
an
it working?
employee.
Am I back?
Yeah, we can
Yes,
see
I'm
you,
back.
man. Welcome
Okay.
back.
Just in time to say goodbye.
Just in time to say goodbye.
Oh, where's Polly? Oh,
Polly
Polly
had to
left.
bounce.
That's right.
Yeah.
But look, Danny, man, it's always great having you, man. I mean, seriously, it's always great having you on. I like
Thank
your mind. I like the way you see things. Okay. You hold it down for us. And eventually, one of these days, I will visit you in Vegas, man. We definitely need to hang out.
You better do it soon, man, because when my lease is up, I'm thinking about my mom's giving me so much grief. I'm thinking about moving back to North Carolina so I can be with her in her final days.
Hey, you know what? Your mom's amazing, man.
Yeah.
Okay. You got an amazing mom.
No, I'm a mama's boy. It's clear.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. They ain't nothing like being a mama's boy. I fully admit it. I am a mama's boy. But
Yeah.
look, John, again, thank you for hanging out with me. Martin, couldn't do this without you. Danny, of course, you rock, man. And
I'm sorry, man. Like, everybody's giving me grief. I get hit up by Anima. I get hit up by my mom and Gary. They're like, why aren't you on anymore? I'm like, dude, it's the school year. I got to take, it's like an hour. I'm not even kidding. It's it's 3 hours out of my day. It's an hour and a half in the morning and an hour and a half in the afternoon to deal with taking my son to school. And it's just like, if you guys did morning coffee, that's why I was able to join. If you guys did morning coffee at 10, I was saying this to my mom today, I could make it. You know what I mean? But 8, my time, it's like, shit, man, I'm in car line at my son's school,
Yeah.
I remember those days, man.
Yeah.
I do remember those days. Well, listen, I'm happy anytime I can have you on. Okay.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
And to everybody, yeah, Anima, we're still going. And to everybody that stuck with us through everything, let me just say, as far as everybody that was thanked before with Gary, I want to say ditto, love you, appreciate you, and try to have a better day, as my other brother, Robert Meyer Burnett, would say.
Do you want me to roll the outro?
Yes, you can go ahead and roll that outro.
thank you.
No, thank you.
All right, I gotta go hit the recliner. Sorry, my bad.